Okay, ding dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.
Aren't Cooey.
And welcome all to the Fromville Hour Season 4 post discussion. And here we go, folks. Here we are. We are less than a week from the Season 4 finale. And I feel like we're all still digesting it a little bit, taking it in, rewatching it multiple times probably, and seeing just what exactly we can kind of take from not only the season finale, but the season as a whole. And I think a rewatch is definitely going to be in order over the next few days and weeks. We'll probably do some kind of from season 4 rewatch from the beginning, because it's always fun to go back and rewatch the season once you have the whole season in its entirety. I think those first few episodes might look a little bit different in context. But yeah, I mean, here we are again, not even a week off after the finale, and I feel like the fandom has been super vocal in terms of how much they love it and in terms of how much they were a little bit disappointed. And that's great. I love seeing that, both sides are kind of speaking their mind. And that's great. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack here, and not only a lot to unpack, but thanks to the very, very interesting and unconventional Reddit thread that the From creators provided us with the other day, we now have even way more answers that weren't even in the show, that probably won't even be in the show now that we have them officially answered for us. So there is tons of stuff that has been confirmed, tons of stuff that has been debunked, which will hopefully give us a much better kind of view in terms of where to focus our theories heading into season 5. Because I feel like there's so many interesting ways to predict heading into season 5 and where it will go. But just, I mean, look at the list alone. I mean, just from what we got in season 4 and, a mix of the Reddit stuff, there was so many things confirmed here. Mute.
Yeah, so I do feel like we got answers. I know that for a lot of people, since we have been talking about this, right, and looking at every little detail, we came to our conclusions, and they just kind of told us that our conclusions are facts. That's still an answer. That's still valid. I know that, when we come to conclusions and they turn out to be true, we don't count them as answers, but I like hearing it from them.
Mhm.
So if we have the idea that the boy in white is on the resident side, I like seeing it. Like, I want valid, like Boyd says, right? Concrete evidence, concrete proof
Confirmation.
that
Yeah.
that is actually what it is. So
Mhm.
I still count those as answers. I feel like we got a
Yeah.
ton of information. And with that information, we have a better picture of what the story is and how do we move forward from there, right? We have to
Mhm.
make our theories based on what we have. So that's what we'll try to do today.
Yeah, and again, I think when you look at season 4 as a whole, it's funny. We actually got more answers from Reddit than we did from season 4 at the end of the day. But we did get answers from season 4, like you said. A lot of them were things that we have been theorizing on for a while that turned out to be true. like some of the Jade stuff, in terms of all of the visions that he had been seeing, that a lot of people were theorizing that were all his previous reincarnations, which we got confirmation of. Learned something new in terms of his fate, what happens to all the Jades. That was something new. And yeah, a lot of stuff on here. The Eloise thing, I think that was a really, real out of all of these, I think the Eloise thing was probably the biggest one, just in terms of how popular the Eloise fan theories have been up until the very beginning of the series. Just about everyone has had some kind of Eloise theory at some point or another. So to get that confirmation that Eloise is actually dead and she's been dead the whole time, I think that's probably one of the biggest ones, just in terms of like the way it hits the fandom, because that was such a popular theory. So many people were waiting for Eloise to return. And it looks like that is not going to happen. But yeah, they gave us quite a few interesting answers there.
Yes. I don't think that even the creators knew that Eloise was dead until they
I
kind
don't
of
either. I
they
don't either.
did not know that she was dead until they kind of were working through the season, and they said, "You know what?
We
We
got too
don't
many
need her.
storylines. Yeah.
We don't need her. She's dead." And that's when
Mhm.
they knew. That's when they knew and we knew, right? So we probably found that at the same time that she was dead. Um they have been very honest with us. Their
Yep.
honesty has been, listen, we have
Mhm.
a beginning and we have an end. We are not changing our ending. We know where we're going and how the story ends. But everything in between, how we get there, that's going to change. We are playing around with ideas. We are changing things. We are still writing some of it, right? Because they have
Mhm.
made changes and now they need to write the storyline's conclusion, like Victor. So I think the interesting part now is not going to be so much as theorizing what the story is, because the writers don't know what it is. They
Yeah.
told us. So you can theorize what the story is when they don't know what it is. They have no idea what it is. They're working on it. I think it's more about making a compelling argument or a compelling case for what it should be. They're still working on it. So with what we have, what is your theory or your argument for what they should do next? Because they don't have it.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, in particular, when it comes to the Eloise thing, it does feel like that was something that they kind of switched up last minute, because it is hard to ignore the ambiguity that they kind of created around Eloise's death. There's a reason that was a very big fan theory, because narratively there is very much ambiguity there. So I think that was one that maybe they thought about exploring it once upon a time. And I think as they get closer to the end of the story, they start to realize we have way too many characters. We have way too many storylines. There's some things we simply have to cut out. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Eloise side storyline was exactly that. Maybe they were planning on doing something earlier on at the beginning, and it just never quite manifested because they didn't have room for it. And that kind of stuff happens all the time on TV shows. That is not something that is new and specific to From. Many shows and films will often have side storylines that they plan on do. They'll be in the script. But then when you get down to actual filming and you start realizing your screen time and what else you have to fit in, some stuff just gets left on the cutting room floor or not filmed at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a change of heart there. Maybe they just felt that it was better to just keep that door shut, because they have, again, I think they have way too many characters and way too many other storylines that they still need to wrap up, and only one season left to do it. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Eloise thing was a switch at one point. But
Yes, I mean, they have been very honest. They really have been very honest with us. It is up to us to accept their honesty and what they're letting us know. They're saying, we're solid on the ending, but how we get there, that's changing. We are writing things as we go along. Some things are changing. They probably left that open ended to see if they wanted to work it into the storyline. They decided not to, and so they closed that. That's why they gave us the answer. I
mhm,
don't think that they did the um writers' answers for anything. They really wanted that information out there because we were going to be disappointed seeing the finale and no Eloise. They wanted us to know. So yeah, I think they've been honest. They are using and choosing to change things here and there. They're writing as they go. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Eloise thing was open ended because they thought it might be a good storyline and then they didn't have time to write it in. That's why the license plate said Eloise.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I think we found out that she was dead when they found out that she was
They
dead
found
because
out.
the license plate, they had to, like, for that license plate, you have to have that make. That's a custom made license plate. So they
Mhm.
had that made, they had it in the prompts, they filmed it, and then they decided, okay, she's dead. So
Yeah.
this was just, I don't know.
Mhm. And again, there's also that it could just be a Lost reference. That is a possibility as well. Eloise is a very interesting character from Lost, and that has always been an interesting theory as well. That the whole Eloise thing was always just a wink and a nod to Lost, and it could be, but. I do get just narratively speaking, I do get the feeling it was more than that originally, or as it was intended to be more than that originally. Just narratively, it screams a little more than a reference. But again, stories change storylines all the time. It happens. Some stuff you have to cut out, some stuff you add in last minute. And I wouldn't even be surprised if that's why they went on this whole Reddit kind of crusade of theirs that they did and gave all of these answers on the Reddit thread. Maybe they just knew that they weren't going to have enough time to fit all of these answers in that final season. So at least this way they have some way of giving some kind of closure to the fandom about some of these things. Because again, heading into season 5, there are a lot of storylines and a lot of questions that still need to be answered, like a ton. So if nothing else, it'll be interesting to see what the pacing is going to look like. I have to imagine it's going to have a much quicker pace in season 5 if they have any chance of kind of getting to everything. But I'm looking forward to it. I think they left us off in a pretty interesting spot between the season 4 finale and getting all of this stuff on Reddit. I know there was definitely some things about the finale that some of us didn't really like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at this point, it's for me anyway. Over the last few days, I'm kind of just approaching it like okay, season 4 was a little disappointing at times. Definitely not my favorite season, but this was the season. This is it. It's something that I have to accept. And then you kind of just go forward from there, looking at some of the stuff I did like from the season, theory crafting from there going forward, because there were things about season 4 that I did really enjoy. It's not like the whole season was bad or anything. There were just some bad episodes. So yeah, no, I think heading forward, that's what I am looking at. I'm looking into where is this thing going to take us? What are some of the bigger stuff that I'm looking forward to seeing in season 5? And what are some of the more character-driven stuff that I'm looking forward to seeing in season 5 as well? So that's what I'm looking forward to going forward. Yes, season 4, again, it might not have been exactly what we thought it was going to be for a lot of us. But I still love From, and I still want to see how the story ends.
I mean, it is what it is, right? Now we look at what we have, the solid answers that we have, and we move forward. So, what we wanted to do was compiled everything that we know for sure that we saw and all of the answers from the Reddit post, compile everything that we saw in the season, and kind of get a better picture of what is the storyline? What is it that we know? And then
Mhm.
go from there. We could create new theories that are more grounded in reality because the reality of it is that the story is simplified now. So we could ground our theories in reality. We had our vent session about how we felt, right? It was a shock to the system. But now
Yeah.
we move forward. It is what it is. I just thought it was so funny, Jeremy, that they decided to do the creators' answers on Reddit. It's like they're not afraid. They went into like the sharks. Those are like the worst people. I mean, love everywhere, but like Reddit people, they
Oh,
could
Reddit's
be,
crazy. Reddit's fucking
yeah, they
nuts.
could be insane. So the
I
fact that they
still.
had the guts to be like, you know what, we'll do it on Reddit, and the worst of the
Mhm.
worst complainers will go on there and do it there. So I just thought, good for you. That shows
Yeah.
some guts.
Yeah. LOL Reddit people. The Reddit people. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Reddit can be an interesting place to say the least, I guess you could say. but yeah, and again, this is definitely a concern that I have seen many fans, utter as well. Even myself, I have my certain little, not concerns, but definitely at least, wondering. I just don't see how they can wrap it up. The pacing can't miss a beat in season 5. You don't have time to be for filler. Yeah, there's not going to be any time for filler in season 5. If they truly want to give as satisfying a story as they possibly can, and at least get to all the really important stuff, yeah, there's not going to be much room for filler in season 5. Not like there kind of was in season 4. We did have some filler moments in season 4. Not a ton. I mean, I think sometimes filler and character development gets confused with each other every once in a while. There is a difference between character development and filler, but there was filler moments in season 4. That much is undeniable, just from a narrative standpoint. But yeah, I think season 5, the pacing's probably going to be a lot quicker. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I definitely see the whole vibe of the town being much more intense, and I think that we're going to see a much more, hopefully, maybe devastating kind of consequences that have going to come from ripping out that faraway tree. I definitely feel like that is not done. Like, we have only begun to scratch the surface of all of the damage that ripping out that faraway tree is potentially going to cause to Fromville. And if you guys have seen my recent video that I just put out a few minutes before this stream went live, then you know exactly the theory that I'm talking about that I just put in that video, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, I think we're going to have devastating consequences for removing that tree. That red lightning that it was shot up to the atmosphere, that was definitely for some kind of reason. There will be some kind of side effect that is going to trigger something, not just the one quick little eclipse that we got. I do think that the conditions in Fromville are going to start to deteriorate now that that tree is gone. But we shall see. What is up, Douglas? Welcome, my friend.
What are you going to do to them? We have him here. Doug,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? Why didn't you tell him to stop cutting down the tree? What's going on? Are you the big bad? Right? So we have compiled all of the answers and also kind of a paragraph of what the storyline is so that we can move forward. Um, but there is some super chats if you want to do those first.
Yeah. Yeah, let me get to these two first, and then we will dive right in. We got Sunflower for $4.99. Thank you so much, Sunflower. Very much appreciate you. If Julie has Eloise pen Ethan found at the beginning, she might travel to that night of the massacre. I have been thinking of the anchors. I mean, the whole anchors, the bookmarks, everything that Julie was kind of experimenting with towards the first half of season 4. All of that stuff was super intriguing. I thought that was actually probably Julie's best storyline she's ever had out of any season. It was like really engaging. It was very fun. I couldn't wait to see them, more screen time from them. So I cannot wait to see what they do with her in season 5. I hope they kind of pick up with that kind of Julie Randall duo that we saw in season 4, where they're kind of working this angle together. But at some point, Julie and Randall do need to kind of team up with Boyd, Jade, Tabitha, and the rest. Like, all of them need to be working together. At this point, Julie was kind of working on her own with the story walking, while everybody else was kind of already starting to group together. So at some point, I do think Julie's going to have to kind of work with everybody, not just Randall. But I like their dynamic, the duo of Julie and Randall. I think it was just fun. It was just fun to watch them experiment with this story walking ability, trying new things, trying these bookmarks, failing, and seeing her go through these trials. And she's very much ticking so many of the boxes on the 12-step hero's journey, probably more than any other character on the show. So yeah, I want to see what's going to be going on with Julie and what other times she's going to visit. And I think we also got a very interesting answer confirmed from the creators regarding Julie, because a lot of people were wondering when she threw the rope down to Martin. People were wondering if that was proof that she could change things. And for a while, I always said, I don't think that's proof that she can change things. I think that is just showing us this is always what happened. Julie was always the one who threw the rope. She's just experiencing it now because time is not linear for her anymore. And it looks like we did exactly get confirmation of that. Julie throwing the rope down to Boyd wasn't her changing anything. That was what always happened. And if that is the case, then yes, Sunflower, I definitely think we're going to see Julie in the past that has already influenced other events that we just haven't learned yet, because our present day Julie hasn't learned them yet, because again, her timeline isn't linear now. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there are other events like the rope that Julie has already influenced.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. Because when they put this title on story walking, it
Yep.
makes me think of somebody that literally is walking through stories. Like Ethan said,
Right.
you could walk through the stories, they have already been written. You can't change anything. So that would be an observer, right? But
Mhm.
Julie wasn't an observer. She interacted with the
She's walking
physical
through a
storyline
story.
that she was looking at.
She's walking through a story that she's a part of,
So
basically.
see, that's where the change is. I
Exactly.
need them to give me more info on how this time traveling works, right? But yes, Sunflower, I really liked Julie with Randall, and I
Yeah.
like how ride or die Randall was, because he
Yeah.
was down. She wanted to go into the house for the books, he went in there. She wanted to do the story walking, he went in there and held her as she was having the seizures. He
Yeah.
was really down to
He
do
was.
this,
He
and
was.
then all of a sudden, he decides it's probably not a good idea. So I was kind of a little taken aback, because he
Mhm.
was so willing to do it. I understand he was concerned for her, so I understand that. But hopefully, seeing that things are getting really bad, at that
Mhm.
point it's like, listen, if I die of a seizure or I die story walking, it doesn't matter, because we have no talismans, the monsters are out,
Yeah.
like time is of the essence, right? So I'm hoping that they pair up again,
Mhm.
along with the others. Now, the anchors, I have been thinking about this too,
Mhm.
Sunflower. I think the boy in white didn't tell us the third thing. I
No.
believe that the third thing that he told Victor, and the same applies to Ethan, is what Victor told Ethan. What did Victor tell Ethan? Victor told Ethan, you draw so that you don't forget. The
Can remember.
pictures, remember.
Yeah.
That's the third thing. I bet
I
you.
think
That's
so.
my theory. The third thing is you draw so that the pictures remember. Why
Mhm.
is it so important to draw? Why would the boy and white care about that, or Victor? Because those are the anchors, the bookmarks. So it makes sense. I mean, if we're talking about a story, you go and grab the page of the
Yeah.
story that you want to look at, and you look at the page, you take it with you, and you're like, this is the part in the book that I want to go to.
Yeah.
If from is a book, then you grab whatever page Victor drew, you go into the ruins, and
Go
you're
to
like,
that
this is the
place.
page I want to visit.
Yeah. Yeah. A
Mhm.
passport to that time period, in a sense, taking you right there, a direct link to that time, to that moment, essentially.
Well, I think it's very simple. Think of a book, all of those
Super
little
simple.
pictures that he's drawing, that's
Yeah.
the story of From. So you
Yeah.
just turn the page to where you
And
want
you
to go,
visit all these
and
places.
you literally go into that
Yeah.
chapter.
And I think she
I think
will.
that that's yeah, that's the bookmark.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And that's been a very interesting theory, that that is the third thing that the boy in white might have, failed to say to Victor, or at least the third thing that we didn't hear Victor say to Ethan. A lot of good theories there in terms of what that third thing is, but I like that the best. I think it's because, again, I feel like it fits what Victor has needed to do to survive. Yes, you need to find food and water and shelter and all of that, but this place, is different from the regular world, and I think maybe the boy in white anticipated what was going to happen to Victor. Maybe his mind, the psychological effects that it might have on him being here. So yeah, maybe that third thing was, you need to kind of record everything, and he essentially became the de facto historian of From, in a sense. So yeah, I mean, what better blueprint to use than to travel to other time periods, at least anywhere from the 1978 timeline forward. I mean, if she wants to go back a little bit further than that, Victor might not have drawings that can help her there, but she can at least get back to the 1978 massacre and everything up to that point using Victor's drawings. And once she masters that, I imagine it's going to be a lot easier for her to start to travel wherever she wants, even further back. because I do get the feeling at some point she's going to have to travel back to the original timeline and see the Onkui sacrifice, like she almost did in season 3. I just feel like they're going to return to that at some point. And if that's the case, yeah, she's going to need to learn how to travel back super far, like centuries.
Yeah. I think, the simplest answer, this is a book. He literally has the pages of the book. We see that he strings them together. They have
Yeah.
focus and posted photos of all of his drawings kind of strung together with cord.
Mhm.
So I think they're telling us this is literally the book. Just go to the page you want to go. And one thing that I thought connected this theory is that the boy in white gave Victor psychological advice. It wasn't just you need shelter and food and that's it for survival. He gave him psychological advice. He said,
Yeah.
here is
How to
safety
survive
and
mentally.
food.
Yeah.
And the hardest part is psychologically being alone for such a long period of time. That is going to be very hard for you.
Yeah.
So you're going to do this, right? Like how to not feel alone. And then the third thing, I think it would make sense that it also is part of the psychological and the practical. He
Yeah.
knows then that Victor was going to experience isolation, and that's hard for a
Yeah.
human. He also knows that when a child is so heavily traumatized, he's going to forget. He's
Yeah.
going to block out huge chapters of his life because he's so heavily traumatized. So it would make sense that he tells them, you're probably going to forget things, draw it,
Exactly.
and your
Yeah.
pictures will remember what happened so that
Yeah.
when you're unsure of what the reality is, you have something solid,
A guide.
right? To remind you. Hmm.
A guide for Julie later on, and a guide for him to survive as a child. I mean, like these drawings can end up being one of the most important objects in Fromville at the end of the day if they end up going that route. But Doug is asked. Doug was. I just wanted to clarify for Doug because he was asking, "Are these answers from the creators?" Yes, these answers are 100% from the From creators. Actually, we'll switch right back to this in 1 second. But the other day, the From creators went and they had this special Q&A with the fans over on Reddit. I thought it was an interesting platform for them to choose Reddit to do it on, but I mean, I get it. And there's a lot of fans that kind of congregate on Reddit. But the official creators of From went on to Reddit the other day and they were answering fans' questions. I mean, not everything. Obviously, they weren't going to give away the whole story, but they gave us a lot of definitive answers and a lot of definitive hints as to what to expect. Like, for example, who is Marin? That's all I want to know desperately. Stay tuned. Hinting that we'll get some more about Martin. Is the Father Khatri ghost actually him? Another, stay tuned. But we also got some definitive ones. Will we see more of the ballerina and the music box in season 5? We may very well see the ballerina dance again. Stay tuned. So they are giving us some pretty interesting kind of definitive stuff. Let's get to some of the more bigger ones, like the Eloise thing was out there. Have you seen, is Eloise alive or not? They confirmed, no, Eloise is 100% dead. They went and answered quite a lot of things. Other than Jade and Tabitha, why is anyone else in Fromville? Are they chosen, random, what/who decides this person is getting a tree? Was Boyd chosen for Fromville or just on luck? I was too screaming at no one, you will break me, or I'd be pissed. And then here we got I thought this was another big one because I know it was a question that we had and a lot of people in our chat have always had in terms of, are Jade and Tabitha the only characters that are reincarnated? Or is everybody in Fromville a reincarnation from somebody from a previous cycle? And now we do have that confirmation that only Jade and only Tabitha are reincarnated people. Nobody else is connected to their lineage other than their children, being Julie and Ethan, and on Victor's side, Victor and Eloise and Miranda. But other than that, all of the other characters that are here have all been pulled into Fromville because they all kind of share a similar commonality in terms of they were in some kind of crossroads in their life. That is the only thing the rest of the characters have in common. They were at some sort of junction in their life, and that is how they got pulled in. But we do have confirmation Jade and Tabitha are the only reincarnated characters. So again, they answered some pretty big stuff. This isn't small stuff. Some of it was small, but some of these answers were pretty big.
Yes, and it's things that, Doug is saying he's so glad that they clear some stuff up because he had some questions or he thought that the storyline was going there. A lot of us believe that that's kind of how the storyline was being set up, but it's nice. Like I said, I want to hear it from them. It's
Yeah,
something for us to have our theories
and
and
it
to
helps
kind
us
of
theorize even better
yeah,
now.
because now we could move forward from where we stand. It doesn't matter where we want it to be. Let's leave that behind. Let's
Yep.
look at where we're at and go from there, right? So
Hmm.
I thought, today we look ahead, basically. We look ahead at what we actually have. Now, what we would like it to be, let's see, right. Do you want to do the other super chat before we start the
Yes,
answers?
let's get through the other one. But yeah, just to echo your statement, 100% agree with you. I feel like this gives us a much better, not much better, but it just gives us a I guess a narrower window in terms of what theories we should be focusing on heading into season 5, and what theories we now know we don't need to worry about at all. So again, I think this was a pretty big dumping of information that they gave us. But thank you so much, Sunflower, for the 4.99. I very, very much appreciate you, and I owe you a whoa. Handing out the woes. And we also have West of Westeros, who's been a member for 7 months. Thank you so much, West of Westeros. Best part of this channel, Jeremy and PM has created a fun, happy group of peeps. You all make this experience awesome. Thank you. No, thank you, West of Westeros,
Mm.
and thank each and every one of you in the chat as well. You guys have made this experience so fun this year, even during a season where I know some of us didn't always, jive with every single storyline. Even during a season where we've had certain critiques, constructive criticism for a show that we love, we still had so much fun. This is probably the most fun I've had covering a season of From. There was just so much comedy that came out of it, so many good discussions that came out of it, so many things that I've learned from everybody else's point of views and perspectives on what worked for them, what didn't work for them. And you can always learn something new about filmmaking, about all kinds of stuff, just having these discussions. So no, thank each and every one of you. You guys have been absolutely awesome and super supportive this year. We've been doing record freaking numbers all year. I cannot thank each and every one of you enough for that. And yeah, you guys definitely make the experience worthwhile. And the memes,
Yeah. Oh
fucking
my God.
memes,
You guys are hilarious.
and
And
jokes.
here we see Chiquita coming up with it. The wig is a bookmark. And I have
The wig is a bookmark. Yeah.
horrifying news for you. There was a picture that was posted. We have it on Jeremy's Discord, so join the Discord if you haven't.
Mm,
But Hannah, the actress that plays Julie, posted a photograph of her chopping off her hair, her real hair.
yeah.
And we know that they're going to start filming. A lot of the actors were showing pictures on their Instagram of them
Yep.
being on the airplane to
Hmm.
travel for filming. And
Filming is
she just cut
starting.
her hair. She just cut her hair. So I think we're going to lose the wig. Okay.
That's gonna
Uh,
be it's gonna be so jarring if we lose the wig, isn't
mhm.
it? Like after seeing a whole season of that wig, if she comes in season 5 and she just has like her natural hair, which is a totally different color than that wig for starters, and it's not the Moses that parted the Red Sea wig, either. I think it's going to be a little jarring seeing like normal hair after seeing the wig. I know we're going to miss the wig. I know this fandom's going to miss the wig. Shit. I don't
It's
know.
the worst loss that we've had. I'm feeling the loss of that wig more than I felt the loss of Mariel, more than I'll
And
ever feel
Elgin.
the loss of Elgin.
Yeah.
That wig is going that loss, it really is actually hitting me. I don't know if I could move on from that.
I don't
Um,
know.
a lot of people were saying in the comments of your
It's like
video,
killing off a character, getting rid of that wig.
our favorite character of the season, dude. Like that was my favorite thing. Every time it was on screen, it just like brought a smile to my face. I just
Yeah.
lit up seeing that wig on screen and seeing it on all of the random people, Boyd, the Golem with the wig. I mean, that was the best part. I don't know why they're getting rid of it. Maybe we still can petition them. They like Reddit, so maybe I'll start a Reddit petition, like
we
Reddit
sign
petition to keep the wig.
if we can get enough fans to sign, keep the Julie wig movement going. That would be absolutely diabolical, and I would love it. Who knows? Crazier things have happened in fandoms, that's for sure. Like the nuts story that surrounded season 2 of Jericho all those years ago. That show was getting canceled. The network was done with it, no more. But the fans loved that show so much. The first season was so good. And there was a very famous line in season 1 that was just nuts. And you kind of have to see the show to get the context for it. But that one line created a giant movement where all of the fans of Jericho started sending in giant boxes of nuts to the studio that owned the network as a petition, as a show of, affection for the show, to plead for them to not cancel it. And they did. The fandom fucking won, and they brought Jericho back for a second and final season and ended the story. One of the few instances out there where the fandom actually fucking won. And I love seeing stuff like that. So who knows? Maybe we can do the same thing with the wig.
Are we gonna have to start sending massive boxes of wigs to
We'll have to start
MGM?
sending wigs to the Fromville studios, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. They like Reddit. So at least minimum a petition. I will start that petition. Please sign it.
Mhm.
You'll see it come up there. Go and visit Reddit. And let's see if we could keep the wig because it was amazing. I like that they used a bad wig. They can't just take it from us. Like, who do they think they are that we're not gonna notice? Of course we're gonna notice.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to notice.
I'm appalled. I'm
Definitely
this
going
sad.
to. But thank you, West to Westeros, for the member chat. Very much appreciate you, my friend. We also have Eric for $4.99. Thank you so much, Eric. I feel what I said in a past chat is close about how the Man in Yellow and the Boy in White are more and more like Jacob and the Man in Black from Lost. What do you think? And I do think there are some similarities. Just in terms of like the themes of the characters, light versus dark, good versus evil, kind of natured. But at their core, they do seem like very different characters. They represent similar things, but I mean, we still don't really know what the Boy in White is. We still don't know what the Man in Yellow is. We know that they're on opposing sides, and we know that they're stuck in these cycles that the Man in Yellow apparently keeps winning this game. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I definitely see the similarities that everybody else sees. But at their core, I feel like they're a lot different characters. And I'm hoping they're going to be a lot different characters at their core. Because I don't think anyone wants to see just a rehashing of something too similar of Lost. And I don't think that's what they're going to do here. But I do see the similarities that you guys see, definitely. But I'm hoping at their core, it's going to be a much different story at the end of the day than what we got on Lost.
Yeah. Eric, I would like to present to you just an observation, and you tell me how you read it, and chat, you guys tell me how you read it. When the two were interacting, the Boy in White and Sophia, Sophia seemed confident. She was, cheerful. She was messing around, playing around with him, very familiar, right? But she had a smile on her face the entire time, and she was chatty. The Boy in White was walking next to her, but he was very serious. He didn't smile, not at all. He seemed afraid. When she was dumping the talismans into the faraway tree, he looked worried and like he was staring at them, but he didn't look confident. Even when he said, "You're not gonna win this time," he looked angry and afraid. So to me, how that read is that it's not really Boy in White against Sophia or this entity in yellow.
Yeah,
I
Jaden.
believe that Boy in White may be one of the souls of the children. I think he was also a child like the Ankui who is trapped there. He's also an eternal child. He just did not get sacrificed, and so he roams from town alone. But it's really Jade and Tabitha. That's who he's playing. He's playing against Jade and Tabitha. That's kind of the sense that I got. But I don't know. You tell me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, the cycles seem to be the town of Fromville, the residents of Fromville trying to break these cycles, and the Man in Yellow doing everything to stop them. But the Boy in White does seem to be on the side of Jade and Tabitha. So I do get what people are saying by when they see this game being played between the Man in Yellow and the Boy in White. It does, on the surface, read that way a little bit. But no, in terms of like the Man in the Man in Black on Lost and the Man in Yellow on From, there are definitely some similarities. I mean, shape-shifting, evil, similar kind of attitudes, personalities. There are some similarities there. It is kind of hard to deny. But I am hoping at the end of the day, they're going to want very different things and be very different characters. The man in yellow, we don't really know exactly what he wants. It seems like he wants to keep these cycles going. Whereas the men in black on Lost seem to want nothing more than to leave. He just wanted to escape the island and get back to the real world. But I mean, different motives, but very similar characters. So you definitely understand, or at least I definitely understand, the similarities that people are seeing between these two storylines, because there are some similarities there. It's hard to deny.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't see Lost
Yeah.
like properly. I
Mhm.
fast forwarded through a lot of it, but I'm glad that I didn't because I could focus just on From. And I do see that a lot of people, like you're saying, Eric, having seen Lost and From, they crisscross in your mind. You see similarities, right? So I think it is kind of an advantage if you didn't see it. You could just focus on From
Probably.
and what you're seeing on
Yeah.
one thing at a time, right?
Yeah.
And I'll watch it, but I'll watch it when From is
When
over.
From's
Then
done.
I'll
Yeah.
be like, "Oh my god, I see it."
Now I see what
Right.
they're saying. Yeah. And again, I think, whenever you get into a story like this, when you have the good versus evil, there's going to be some similarities. But again, I do see what people are saying in terms of the man in yellow and the man in black. They even have similar names. Crying out loud, like there are some pretty interesting similarities there in terms of the characters that they are. But again, I am hoping at the end of the day, From is going to end much differently than Lost ended, or at least that's what I'm hoping anyway. But we shall see. We shall see. But no, Eric, you're definitely not wrong in terms of recognizing the similarities there between these two dynamics that we're seeing. And thank you so much for the $4.99, my friend. And I owe you a whoa. Awesome stuff. And we got Sunflower again for $4.99. Thank you so much, Sunflower. PM, you said the other day that Fatima did not agree to a ritual, but Boyd did. My blood is your blood. A man protects his family. Fatima is family. Oh, interesting, Sunflower. Is
Oh.
there any kind of possibility that Boyd doing the my blood is your blood thing opened Fatima up to be the receptacle of this smiley thing? Interesting. I mean, I've never thought of that. It's a new theory that I've never heard, but interesting, PM.
Sunflower, I really, really like your theory. And I think you might be right. If I was the creator, the writer, use this theory because this explains it perfectly and almost poetic. When Boy did the ritual, let's look at what he's saying to Smiley. He's going over to this monster and he's saying, "My blood is your blood." That's an invitation. It sounds like my people, my bloodline is yours. Like you're giving it away. It is an invitation for them to come
Is it an
into your
invite? Yeah.
bloodline.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like, right? And then they did this. Usually, when you attach your hand, you cut yourself, somebody else does it. It is a bond, right? It symbolizes that you are bonding, right? If you want
Mhm.
to create a bond with somebody, you cut yourself, you're like, oh, we are bonded forever, right? Blood. So when he says, my blood is your blood, and you think about what happened after the fact, that's like telling him, I gift you my bloodline. My blood is
Maybe.
yours. Like, you know what it reminds me of? And I know that it's funny, but I think it is more poetic than that. But mi casa es su casa, that's what it
My
reminds me
house is
of.
your house.
When somebody
Yeah.
visits you and you're like, hey, come on in, mi casa es su casa. What you're saying is like, come on in, like, go ahead. It
Yeah.
is an invitation
Yeah.
of like, this is your home. So my blood is your blood is an invitation into his bloodline. So I really like your theory because even though Fatima didn't consent,
Mhm.
she is married to Ellis. They were officially married when this happened. They were already married. So that is his daughter in law. And it was an invitation for them to use her as a vessel, to use her blood. I mean, when Smiley was born, we do get a shot of how bloody the birthing process was. I mean, we see Smiley covered in Fatima's blood, right? And in that sack that he was formed in. So if you put that together, I think you're right. This is the best answer I have heard as to why they picked Fatima. She was
Mm,
invited. He was invited to use her as a vessel.
maybe, maybe my blood is your blood. One thing that we've heard about Fromville is this place is built on ritual. Ritual is what drives this place. By Martin saying, "My blood is your blood," now that was essentially a ritual he was performing to pass this on to Boyd. The same thing that Boyd did to pass it on to Smiley. This was a ritual. And in that sense, yeah, did he potentially open himself up in his family line, his bloodline up to something like this? I think it's an interesting theory, Sunflower. Again, I think and it fits the kind of, some of the themes we've seen on the show. So I like it. I think it's a cool theory. I think it's a very, very cool theory.
I
And
think
I
it would also sorry, it would also hurt Ellis. We know that
mm,
there's a storyline of breaking Boyd.
yeah,
Ellis and his father had a very difficult relationship because he felt that his father, I mean, he did kill his mother, so took her away from him. Now he found a second home. He said, Fatima, you're my home, right?
yeah,
I don't know what I would do without you. If it was Boyd, because of Boyd that he lost this other woman that also signified his home, I mean, that would break Boyd being
yeah,
responsible for the death of these women that they love, his wife and then his son's wife.
yeah.
So
Devastating.
it would kind of fit the cycle.
Mm,
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. And again, it would be super devastating. I mean, we saw Boyd gave Ellis the transfusion. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting theory. It's a very interesting theory. And thank you so much, Sunflower, for not only the new theory but the 4.99 as well. And I owe you a whoa. Handing out woes. And Eric has it right 100%. Messi saves everyone from town. Sorry for spoilers. I mean, if that's how the show ends, I would legit be happy. I mean, if there's any athlete in the world that I want saving me, it's Messi. It's 100% Messi. The guy is an absolute god. So yeah, I would love to have him come and save us from Fromville, or save the town from Fromville, and deliver everybody to safety. All
Who's
while
Messi?
he is probably the best soccer player in the world right now. Plays for Argentina, and he is just such a spectacle to watch. So fun to watch him play. The guy is out of this world. So yeah, and he's very beloved. He's so beloved by so many people, and he plays for Argentina, and it's just so fun to watch him play. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm a huge Messi fan. So I like that, Eric. I love that theory. Let that happen. And of course, U.S. won our match as well. So the U.S. is doing good. I got to say, the U.S. is doing really good in the FIFA World Cup this time around, better than we've done in a very long time, and people are super excited about it. So it's awesome. It's cool to see. This thing only comes around once every 4 years, so it's definitely a very special event. And again, it's the most popular sport in the entire world. So yeah, awesome to see Messi. Awesome to see the U.S. doing well, and looking forward to seeing the rest of the cup. Looking forward. All right. Let's see what else we got. Oh, and thank you again, Eric, for the 1.99, my friend. I owe you and Messi a whoa. Anyone deserves some glitter and woes. It's Messi. That's for sure. All right. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Scrolling down. I'm a little far behind. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, the wig is the first to leave Fromville. It might be. The wig might actually be the first to leave Fromville. I mean, if we're not going to get it back in season 5, then yeah, it officially escaped. And I'm going to miss it. I will 100% miss that wig. I think that wig was stellar. Absolute stellar. Why do you think the boy in white is so immaterial compared to the man in yellow? I get that food. I get that a good force. It is represented with a less influential role, but still. I mean, I think that's an interesting question, T.S. Tuscan. You know what? I mean, we have seen the boy in white. He is very immaterial, and we see the man in yellow. He's very much kind of getting into things. He's doing this undercover deal. He's changing his appearance. Very different approaches in terms of how these characters, approach Fromville. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe that's simply it. We see the man in yellow is represented as a kind of more heavier force because he's on the side of trying to keep these cycles going. And the boy in white seems like he's kind of taken a step back. And I think we kind of get that confirmation from him even in season 3 when he talks about how he tried this once before with Christopher, gave him all the answers, told him what to do, and it all just went haywire apparently. So it seems like the boy in white has taken a step back since then. So he's nowhere near as influential as the man in yellow is over the people of Fromville. But I do think that's something that's going to maybe need to change. One thing about the boy in white is he's seen as many of these cycles as the man in yellow has potentially. It seems like they've both been around for a very, very long time. So if anything, the boy in white must notice and recognize that this cycle is different. This group of people is different from any other group that was here. So if there was ever a time for the boy in white to get into the game, really, it's now. And again, I think, the reason that him not getting into the game really kind of worked against him in the season 4 finale in particular. I mean, when you are going around being this freaking cryptic with everybody, not giving anyone answers, not really giving anyone anything, and then all of a sudden at the drop of a hat you want everyone to believe you and say, no, don't rip up that tree. No one's going to believe you because nobody trusts you because you haven't earned anybody's trust. So the boy in white's methods, while he likes to play things close to the vest, it really bit him in the ass in season 4 because again, nobody was going to listen to him when he said don't pull up the tree. Nobody trusts him. So I think the boy in white needs to start rethinking its tactics.
That's funny. Poor little boy in white. My theory is I like how you describe the way that he's acting. Who does that remind you of? He doesn't want to tell anybody anything.
Victor,
He
yeah.
has seen the most in
Victor,
here.
yeah.
He refuses to talk to people. He talked to somebody once. It didn't go the way he wanted. And now he
And then he
doesn't ever
retreats.
want to talk to anybody again.
Total
Who does
Victor.
that remind you of? Victor.
Total Victor. Yeah.
The reason why I believe that the boy in white is not even the one that's playing is because he's acting like Victor. Okay. I believe that the game is not with the boy in white. The
No,
boy
he
in
needs to get
white
in
is
the
a
game.
soul.
He needs to
No,
get
he
in the game.
can't even get
He's
in
not
the
in
game. It's the same as the residents, as Tabitha. He is at the same level that Victor, Tabitha, and the Ankui children are. He doesn't have any more authority over this place than the children do,
But he has
the Ankui
knowledge.
children.
But he has knowledge
So
that he's
does
not.
Victor. So does Victor. Victor has knowledge, and Victor will not get in the game. And when he does, he gets arrested. So
No, they both need to get in the game.
they both need to get in the game.
And Victor's trying. I feel like Victor took a few good steps at trying.
They
to
both
get
did, okay? They both did because Victor did what the boy in white told him to do. So technically, they both made a move and then got arrested.
They got to keep that up into season 5. More moves like that. Just be direct, boy in white. Tell us exactly what you want us to do. Not cut the tree down. Okay, you should told us that from the beginning. But now nobody trusts you. It's the boy who cried
No,
wolf.
they better trust them because now they have proof. If I was the boy in white, I would be like, I told you so. And if I was Victor too, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so.
And Victor did say that. Victor said that to Kenny. He's like, I told you not to fucking rip up that tree.
You better believe him now, right? You're gonna believe him next time, right? Now, the reason why I don't think that the boy in white does more is because he is not the head of the game. He's not playing the game. He is at everybody else's level. He is not the same as this entity in yellow. He can't do what the entity in yellow is doing. He is another child whose soul has been trapped there. I think that the boy in white is Tabitha and Jade's son. They have told us over and over again. There's a cycle. The answer to the N is at the beginning. It repeats. Victor told us, you always come in here with a boy and a girl. Everybody dies, the boy lives.
Mhm.
And then
And when you
it
say
ends and
Tabitha's
it
son, you
repeats.
don't and when you say Tabitha's son, you don't mean Thomas, you mean the original Jaden, the
Not Thomas.
original Tabitha's son.
Yeah, Thomas was Tabitha and Jim's. The original, everything that happened at the beginning is repeating itself basically. So at the beginning, Tabitha and Jade had a daughter, the Nkui little girl, and a son, the boy in white. They are dressed the same, they are pale. The little daughter was part of the ritual sacrifice. The little boy survived. Everybody died. Everybody died. He's the only one that survived. His soul is also trapped there. He is different, but the same as the Ankui children. He looks the same as them. He wears the same clothing, but he
But
was clearly
it
not sacrificed. He doesn't look sacrificed. He's always alone. It shows you he's also a child, but alone. Something different happened to him. He was left behind. He died there. His soul is also stuck there. So he could do as much as Victor. Say, like, hey, I've seen a couple things. I'll try to tell you something. But if you start asking me questions that don't make sense, or if I can't help you, that's it. I'm not really going to do anything. Just like Victor, right? It's hard to get them to help you. And the reason why is because they're just kids. He was just the original boy that was left behind.
yeah,
That's why he
that's
knows.
why he knows about loneliness
How
and
do you
all this.
think that he knows that getting food is important?
Yeah,
Loneliness is what will kill you. You know that from experience.
yeah.
You have to
And
experience loneliness and being by yourself for a while for you to get priorities straight, you know?
yeah, and could it even fit into the third thing where even the boy in white was drawing pictures as well, where the cave drawings maybe weren't created by the monsters, but maybe by the boy in white or Tabitha and Jade, the originals anyway. I think if it was the boy in white, it would at least fit the kind of three things that we see Victor, using to survive now. And Ethan, and as Victor's kind of passing those things on to Ethan as well, including the drawings. So no, I think it's an interesting theory. I think if we are seeing history repeat itself, these kind of character types repeating, then yeah, what's to say that the original Jade and the original Tabitha only had a daughter? I think it stands to reason it's probably more likely they did have a son and a daughter, maybe. So no,
Hmm.
I like it. I think it's an interesting theory for the Boy in White's origin, and that's one thing I was hoping to get a little bit more on the Boy in White and the Man in Yellow, just in terms of origins. I know we were definitely never going to get everything this season, obviously, but I was hoping we were going to get at least a little bit on who these characters are, a little bit of their backstory. But again, it seems like season 5 they're saving everything for that final season, and I imagine it's going to be pretty interesting pace, if nothing else. But I'm looking forward to it.
Hmm.
I am looking forward
Yeah.
to it. Let's see what else we got.
Well,
Scrolling.
do you want to go over the answers that we have?
Yes, let's go
And
over the answers. And again, these have been 100% directly coming from the From creators themselves. They went onto Reddit the other day and had this big giant Q&A where they were just answering tons of the fans' questions, and we got a lot of definitive answers from it.
it's not just the Q&A. Now that the season is
And
over,
season 4, yeah.
it's what we have gathered from the season. Where are we standing basically, right? Okay, so the boy in white is on the resident side. We know
Yep.
that now. The bottle tree was part of the ritual. They removed it, so they have the bones, but they don't have the bottle tree. The bottle tree was part of the ritual, it's gone. A ritual must be performed to undo from town. So it's not just saving the children, there's a ritual that has to be performed. They told us that verbatim. Only Jade and Tabitha are reincarnations, so we could just undo any other, you know, people are other people. They're just themselves. Nobody is anybody else. They're just themselves. So that's helpful, right? Um, the children cry out and call Jade and Tabitha into Fromville. Eloise is dead. So the children cry out and call Jade and Tabitha. I think it's important because we were always asking what is pulling them in. And a lot of us thought it must be this negative entity that is trapping them. But in reality, it's the children. They're the ones that are basically trapping them in from. you could see it as a negative thing. Like these children keep grabbing them from the real world and keep putting them in this place that they can escape.
And they're getting
And you're
slaughtered.
taking Tabitha's kids with you, and you're taking Tabitha's husband at the time with you. So if you look at it, it's the children that are doing this. They're doing it for a good reason. But at the end of
Mhm.
the day, you have the children to blame. They are to blame for getting pulled in here. Even the other people, when they say the other people heard them and that's why you're here, that means you have the children to blame. That's who you could thank for being stuck here. Um, so the theme of the town is people who were at a crossroads. That's what they told us. If you're at a crossroads, you happen to hear the cries of the children. They call out to your subconscious, I guess. You get pulled in. They said the reason the people are trapped is clear and has been said to us. And now it's about how to get out. They're basically letting us know, like, stop asking why they're trapped. You already know. And start asking, how do they get out? You know why they're trapped because the children called them here and because they need to save the children. I think that's super helpful, right? We don't have to ask that anymore. We already know. The monsters are the children's parents. They're not any other thing. The monsters are just the parents. They told us that. That's what it is. The talisman's origin of the symbol is a clue to the nature of the mythology. So the talismans are important. The talismans are not just rocks. The talismans and the symbols that are imprinted are a clue to the nature of the mythology. And what I'm guessing that means is that in the talismans is the answer of how it all began, the ritual that they did at the beginning, if not at the end. So I'm guessing, I think that they just need to look at that and remember what ritual they need to perform with the bones. The man in yellow is not a nightmare or a monster. So he's not a nightmare creature. He's not a monster. He's, making the bargains. Okay, so the next one is the children's bones are part of the ritual that must be performed to get out. Men in yellow can only shift into people who have died in town. And this one is really interesting, Jeremy. So when Boyd starts saying something and he's like, what do you mean? And he like stops himself and he like calms down and then he's like, okay, fine. All of those pauses, all of those cut-offs of his script are all written down into the script. That is how much attention to detail they pay to the dialogue. It's not the actor making those choices for Boyd to speak that way. They actually scripted all of those pauses, all of those cutoffs in his script. And the last one, From Town was built on a ritual. That would be the last one. Jeremy.
Yeah, some interesting answers from our from creators and some from season 4 as well. Again, it was a giant information dump that they did essentially. And again, it's nice that we're getting these answers. Would I've liked to actually get them in the show instead of on Reddit? Absolutely. But I think they're starting to realize that they only have one season left, and there's going to be some things that they're simply just not going to have time to tie up super definitively. So I do think that's a big reason as to why they did this in the first place. Now, these are some things that maybe if they can't get to in the final season, at least the answers are out there for the fandom to have. So again, it's nice to get the information. The delivery. I'd rather get it in the show, but it's still nice to get the answers. And again, I think it will help us as fans going forward, looking at season 5, giving us at least maybe a little bit of a better direction as to where to focus our theories going forward. So no, again, huge information dump here.
It is what it is, right? We must move forward with positivity, just like the man in yellow says. I always admire your positivity. Let's be like the boy in white. Let's be positive. It is what it is. Would we have rather a billion other things? Yes. Patty, kill her. Patty was supposed to die. I'm sure that we have talked to you guys about this chat, but Patty was supposed to be successful in her attempt, and they changed that. And I wish they wouldn't have, because I know that the audience would have been like, yes, finally, like we put a stop to this woman. But Yeah, they could have done a billion things. So this is a summary of so far what the story is. If we, believe them, which I'm inclined to believe them. If you want to read it, Jeremy.
A cult ritualistically sacrificed their children to the with the yellow entity in exchange for immortality. It seems like that might have happened. I feel like we don't have confirmation on that yet, in terms of
Well,
who.
Fatima told us they sacrificed their children.
Yeah, but I don't think we know it was 100% the man in yellow that they sacrificed them to, I
That's
guess. Yeah.
why they either sacrificed it to the man in yellow or with the entity in yellow. It made a bargain. So that's a question. I mean,
Mhm.
as far, do you think? So this is a question that I had for you. Do you think that there is even time for them to introduce another big bad,
No,
somebody
there's
else?
definitely
I
not
think
time.
it's probably gonna
No way.
be to the men in yellow.
There's just no way there's enough time to introduce another villain, set up another backstory, and finish it all within 10 episodes. There's just simply not enough time. And you and I have been saying this for a while. I think the simplest answer is the right one here, that it was most likely the man in yellow that brought them the deal. But I just want to be, clear that we haven't got that definitively yet, is all I'm saying. But it
Yeah,
is most likely the case. Yes.
yeah,
And yes, someone who loved them told them a story. The story gave them hope during the ritual. They poured their hope into the roots that made the symbol. Those roots became the bottle tree that allows people to travel through matter/teleport to different locations. The ritual built a place from town that is stuck in a loop of repeating cycles. Again, the cycles thing has been heavily theorized for quite a long time, and I feel like we got very much definitive proof in season 4 that that is exactly what this is. Cycles that have been happening over and over and over again. So again, we got a lot of big, heavy fan theories confirmed in season 4 as well. Jade and Tabitha reincarnate and are brought into Fromtown in order to save the children. Others who are at crossroads and hear the children's cries are also pulled in. Entity in Yellow sabotages them and wins every time so far. And that is pretty much the gist of it. We're seeing this cycle play out over and over and over again, where these Jades and Tabithas are just destined to always get pulled into Fromville. And with them, other like-minded people that are in similar crossroads that are hearing these children's call. So again, knowing that it's the children pulling everybody into Fromville, I do think that paints a very different look at the place as a whole. Because yes, I get that on one hand, these children, they just want to be saved. They just want salvation. They just don't want to be tormented in this not alive, not dead state that they seem to be in for centuries. They're just kids at the end of the day, and they want peace. So I totally get it. But on the other side, they're causing just untold damage to humanity over the centuries, bringing all of these people in here to get slaughtered in the most gruesome ways over and over and over again. So it's a very interesting, again, I think it just paints the whole town of Fromville in a much different light, knowing that it's not some evil force that are pulling people in here. It's children that are just looking for salvation, but they just happen to be pulling people into an incredibly dangerous place. I just think that adds a very interesting aspect to the whole show.
yeah. I mean, I always kind of thought it depends on how you look at it. For the humans, this is a horrifying place of
Yes.
nightmares. For the children, this is just the place that they wait for their mom and dad to remember them and to save them, to come through on what they said. They said, I'll pick you up, I'll save you. And they're just waiting. It's like
Yeah.
waiting for school pickup, right? You said you would pick me up. This is just where I wait. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a bad thing for them. And when they see them, that's why they get so happy and show themselves to Tabitha. Every time, when we saw Tabitha come in this cycle, the children will show themselves immediately to her and let them their presence be known because they're
Yeah.
very excited to see her, whether she's afraid of them or not, whether she remembers or not. For them, this is just the place that they were told. And this is the other thing, it's not just the children doing this out of pure will and desire by themselves. They were told, I will save you. So it's like you told me to wait here for you. So in reality, it kind of also comes back to Jade and Tabitha. If they told them the story that gave them hope, you made a
Mm.
promise. Now they're just asking you to come through.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's a vicious cycle that seems to just happening over and over and over again, with just tragedy on both sides, for all involved. You know, the children are just looking for salvation, but unfortunately, they are getting a lot of people killed in the process. But again, I just think that adds an extra layer of depth to the story, where it's not just this, as simple as, oh, evil force pulls people in and hunts them down. It's not that simple. It's more nuanced. There's something deeper going on here, where this isn't some evil, malevolent force pulling people in here to get tortured. It's children looking for salvation. You just happen to get pulled into a very dangerous spot. Again, I think that gives an extra layer of depth, as opposed to, where we were thinking at the beginning of the series that something evil was pulling them in here for some kind of reason. So I like that. I think it adds, a layer of depth. But yeah, and yes, I'm still going to call it From Phil. They won't take that one from me too. No, they will not. And again, if the creators calling it From Town, a lot of people called it From Town, and From Land, during the beginning of the show. But I just thought those two names were super boring. Just no offense. When I saw the monsters, and you see the clothing that they're dressed up in, it looks right out of like Amityville. So that's kind of where we started calling it Fromville. And if nothing else, the actors call it Fromville as well. That's what they call it. So I'm sticking with Fromville. Fromville is the official name, regardless of what the creators say.
Ooh,
It is Fromville.
ooh.
Hashtag Fromville, Golden Child. Indeed. Hashtag Fromville. Yep. Fromville, Kiwi. It'll always be Fromville. Not from town, not from land, not from world, not from upside down. It is Fromville. But no,
I'm
in all
adaptable. If
seriousness,
they wanted to
call
be
it whatever
from
you want.
town,
You call it whatever
yeah.
you want. Yeah, just joking. Just joking. But I do like the Frumbly. I think that was a good one. I believe the actress who plays Fatima, is the one who came up with the word Frumley. So that was one that kind of stuck and spread throughout the fandom as well. Frumsburg. Yes, TCP. All right, now, guys, if you guys have any alternatives to Fromville, From Town, From Land, let us know. Drop it in the chat. We want to see what the best alternative name to Fromville is. I like Frumsburg. I think that's very creative, TCP. Frumsburg. Fuck Pittsburgh. We're going to Frumsburg. Love it. Absolutely love it. But yeah, again, we are starting to get a little bit more of a handle on, what's going on in From. I definitely was hoping that we would have a little bit more of a handle on From after season 4 was done. I did think we were going to get a little bit more than we got, but we still got a lot. We still got some definitive answers. We definitely have a much more kind of narrow window in terms of where to focus our theories on going forward. And we know the mission at least. Even if we didn't get a ton of plot progression this season, we at least know where it's going. We know the mission. They have the bones. They have to figure out how to use them, how to find the right spell, the right ritual, the right location, whatever they need to save these children. Because we all know it's not just going to be as simple as them just burying them in a random spot. That is not going to work. So we have the mission. We have the villains. We have the lines drawn in the sand in terms of the sides. So now we just really need to see how this thing is actually going to play out. So they have a really, really tall task on their hand in season 5 to wrap all of this up in a coherent manner. But I think they can do it. I'm holding out hope. I feel like they've given us way more good storytelling than bad storytelling up until this point. So I think they can. They've earned the benefit of the doubt from me to that they can wrap it up.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? But when you look at the storyline that they have given us, the things that we know, this is still a very compelling story. This is still a story worth watching. This is still a
Yeah,
story that if I saw this
absolutely.
description, I would say, yes, absolutely. I want to watch this story play out. It's still very
Mhm.
interesting, even if it's not far fetched, right? All of those crazy ideas. If it's just this, that's still very interesting. We're talking about cycles, time loops, time travel, and salvation of the soul. That's still very deep, very compelling.
Yeah.
If it's not any deeper than that, I think that that's still amazing. So with
Yeah.
what we have, now we move forward. Now that we know that's the gist of it, that's the story, the question is, how do they save the children? That's the question for season 5. How are they going to get out, and if they're going to get out?
Yes. That is the big gist. How do you save children that are already dead? It seems like step one was getting the bones. If the bones weren't going to be important, then we wouldn't have gotten that line between Sophia and the man in yellow at the end of the season, where the boy in white's kind of like bragging, "They got the bones, you're screwed," but the bottle tree's gone. So we know that they are at least heading in the right direction, Jade and Tabitha, with this whole bones idea. But I think, like you said, it's not going to be as simple as them just burying them. They're going to have to come up with some kind of spell, some kind of ritual, some type of thing that they're going to have to do before they can really kind of save these children and hopefully put their souls to rest. Because I have to imagine that is what ultimately this is heading to, putting these children's souls to rest, not saving their lives and going back and stopping the sacrifice from happening or anything like that. I would be very surprised if that's what save the children ultimately means. So yeah, I think they have the mission, they have the tools, they just need a little bit more knowledge, and hopefully not get killed by the man in yellow and the monsters along the way. Easy,
Yeah.
easy beans,
Yeah. So
easy beans.
with what we have, my theory is, if we look at what we have and where we're going, and the only answer that we need to answer, which is how do we get out now? It is what it is. I'm thinking what Boyd said, how the hell do you save children that are dead, right? They keep saying that to us. And I think that they keep saying that to us to remind us that in episode 1, which they have told us, go back and watch episode 1. Episode 1 has a lot of answers. And the boy in white, if we put that together with everything that we know, the boy in white doesn't say, go get the bones. He never said, go get the bones and then save the children. He says,
No.
go to the lighthouse to save the children. That is something that he's repeated over and over. Go to the lighthouse to save the children. So if we put that together with what we have, what we know, the bottle tree would take you to the lighthouse. That was where it would take you. If you had the bones and the bottle tree was something you needed, it makes sense that you would grab the bones, go through the bottle tree, take
Yep.
those bones to the lighthouse. They don't have that bottle tree anymore. So I think in season 5, there's a way to get to the lighthouse because we kind of have seen Boyd and Sarah get close to it just by walking the terrain. They're gonna have to walk the terrain. They're gonna have to live in the wilderness. They're gonna have to go and camp out because that's what Sarah and Boyd did. You can't go back to the town, right? If you're out there, it takes a long time. You're gonna have to take the bones to the lighthouse. Now, the Lake of Tears, they've told us in episode 1, that can bring you back from the dead. The Lake of Tears might be somewhere around the lighthouse. The lighthouse is for water. So somewhere around there, there has to be a Lake of Tears. The children will be made whole again. That doesn't mean they come back to life, but it means that you can save them, that you have saved their souls, that you have made them whole, that they're not trapped there anymore. In the lighthouse, Tabitha was able to escape to get out. So it tells us that that's a door. The lighthouse is a door. I mean, she ended up coming back, but it was a door for her. She went into the real world. Therefore, it could also be a door for the children. You need to take the children there so they could get out too. And then once they're not there, you have one and everybody gets to go home. That doesn't mean you come back to life. If you died, you died, but your soul will not be trapped there. Like Mariel says, everybody's soul gets trapped. It won't be. Your soul will be free to move on.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. I definitely think that these bones, if they are going to play a part, then yeah, it's going to be that there's some type of ritual, some type of spell, incantation that they need to do with these bones to hopefully put them to rest. Where is that going to be? I think the lighthouse is as good a guess as any other guess, considering they were told to go to the lighthouse, at least Christopher was. So yeah, no, I like it. I think it's an interesting possibility in terms of how they could use these bones and where it would ultimately end up. And yeah, I do think
Mm.
salvation for the children is going to be that kind of salvation, not reviving them, bringing them back to life, stopping the sacrifice from happening so this never happens. I would be very surprised if that's where this goes. It seems like this is more about finding salvation for the children. And not only them, finding salvation for themselves as well. If Jade and Tabitha, if this version of Jade and Tabitha are finally able to save these children, it's not just bringing them peace. It's bringing every Jade and every Tabitha that's ever been brought in Fromville and died here peace as well. Every single one of them that's failed. Every single one of them that couldn't get these children where they needed to go. Jade and Tabitha are not just saving the children, they're saving themselves and every single reincarnation that's ever stepped foot in there. So it's huge. This is going to have a huge domino effect in terms of it's not just the children, but all of everyone that's in here as well. And we even heard Jade kind of hint that as well in season 3 when Tien Chen died. And the last thing he says to her is, "Don't worry, you'll come with us when we go." I get the feeling whatever Jade and Tabitha and Boyd and the rest of them are going to do, it's going to save the children, yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it also saves all the souls or frees all the souls that are trapped in Fromville as well when this place leaves, when they leave this place. But yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to do all this in one season. 10 episodes left, guys. 10 episodes left. I hope at the very least, final season has longer episodes. I think that was one of the criticisms that a lot of people were bringing up during season 4, is that a lot of the episodes were super, super short. So hopefully, heading into the 5th and final season, they can maximize the screen time and get these episodes a little bit longer, maybe hopefully close to an hour instead of just the 40, 45 minutes that we usually get. Because again, they have a lot to get through and not a ton of time to get through it. But I am looking forward to seeing how they do it. Looking forward to seeing how the show is ultimately going to end. What is the real answer going to be? Who's going to live? Who's going to die? What characters are going to be changed forever? Who is ever going? I mean, I think one thing that I'm worried about, not worried about, but one thing that I do want to see on the show is that if our characters do make it out, whoever that is. I mean, I definitely get the feeling not everybody's going to make it out, but those that do make it out and back into the real world, I hope that we get to spend a little bit of time with them in the real world before the show just ends. Because I love a good epilogue where you actually get to see how are these characters going to integrate back into the real world after being in Fromville. Like Victor, I would love to spend, if Victor survives and makes it back to the real world, I would love to spend a little bit of time with them in the real world before the show just ends to see how, that's how you see the cost that this place has on people. I often bring up The Lord of the Rings in terms of how J.R.R. Tolkien ended that story. And I think he ended it absolutely brilliantly. Yes, Frodo was the hero. He got the ring to Mount Doom, threw it in and destroyed it, defeated Sauron, the whole 9 yards. But then when he gets home, we see just how damaged he is. He's changed forever. He's never going to be the same. He can't go back to his home because he doesn't feel right there. So he leaves. He exiles himself with the elves, never to return. I would love to see not something similar, a similar epilogue type, few minutes at the end of the series, right before the series ends, where we see some of our characters that do make it out acclimating back to the real world. Not even some of our characters, even if it's only Victor. I think that would be the most interesting thing, because we kind of heard earlier in the season Ethan telling Victor about the internet and how he didn't kind of quite believe him. I would love to see like one of the final scenes of the season of the series be like Victor in the real world sitting down at a computer for the first time and trying to learn how to use it. I don't know. I like little epilogue stuff like that. I feel like it ties a knot on ties a little bow on a story in terms of just ending it and not giving us some type of epilogue. So that's my hope for the final season. Please give us some kind of epilogue chapter that shows the survivors in the real world, at least for a little bit. Again, even if it's only Victor, and Victor better live, he better be there. I think that would be something just incredibly fun to watch. I love epilogue chapters like that. But that's just
I hate to break it to you, Jeremy. I think the chances of that, the odds of that are not in your favor. They're barely gonna have
Probably
enough
not.
time to get where they're
They're not
supposed
gonna
to
have enough
go.
time to do half of this shit.
Barely gonna
Unfortunately.
get to the children to the tower. They're barely gonna have enough time for that. Victor is probably not gonna make it. And honestly,
Oh, Victor's
we
gonna
don't
make it.
want him to make it. He said, "This is my house. I've grown up here. It is what it is." He's probably gonna die in the process. He wasn't meant to be there anyway, right? Unless they write him all the way to the end. And by then his dad has become this villain who wanted to kill him. It's like, how do you move on from so much of that, right? I don't think he's gonna live. You know,
Mm.
if I had to place a bet, I'm betting against Victor. I just don't see him making it out. And I don't see them showing us the real world really, because I mean, like
Well,
I
that would
said,
be a
they're
big
barely
mistake.
gonna have enough time to explain everything they told us, right?
Like, that's their problem for bad time management. Should have done better. But no, that's just, again, that's just my personal thing. I really like stories that have a little epilogue. I feel like that's a proper kind of ending for a story. But again, they're not going to have a lot of time. There's 10 episodes left and so much shit they need to get through. And that's why I think, maybe season 4 could have been a little heavier on the answers. That way season 5 isn't just so top heavy with answers that it feels too jarring that we're getting answers every 2 freaking seconds. So I don't know. Again, I'm very interested to see the pacing, if nothing else, in season 5. How is it going to be paced? How are they kind of going to transition through all of these different storylines? How are they going to trim some of these storylines down or eliminate some of these storylines, which they definitely need to do? They got to start killing off some of these characters. There's simply too many characters on From and not enough screen time. But I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how it all ends. Victor wouldn't survive the real world. He has no skills, no job, no money, no hope. Only would be if Henry also makes it. And again, I think that's the exact reason why it would be compelling. Because he's a man out of touch. He's a man out of time. He's a man that doesn't know anything about this real world. And seeing a character as complex as Victor in a foreign situation like that, that is a scene that Scott McCord would fucking eat up so much, I think. So no, I think that is exactly the whole point of it, is because Victor doesn't know anything about that world, because he's so out of touch. That's what makes it compelling.
I mean, yes, but the only way that I see that going for Victor, and he's an amazing actor, if he was to make it out, it would not be a happiness of, oh my God, I'm in the real world. I'm so
Oh,
happy.
absolutely
There's
not. It
all
would be
this. It would
traumatic.
be
It would be so
so bad. It
traumatic
would
for him. He's
probably
not
be
going to
the
be happy.
worst.
He's
It'll
not
be
going to
the
be
worst thing
happy.
that ever happened to him.
No,
The
he's not going to
worst
be
thing that ever
happy.
happened to
No,
him.
I never said he's going to be happy. He's going to be incredibly traumatized for leaving the only home he's ever known, regardless of how nightmarish of a landscape it is. It's still the only home he's ever known. So no, he's not going to be happy. That's what makes it compelling. He's a man out of time. He's a man out of
That's
touch. He's a man unfamiliar with this world.
that just a sad, I think a happier ending for Victor is dying in the process of seeing his friends, like seeing my friends are out. I'm happy because he loves Ethan. We saw how much he loves Ethan, because when his dad was pointing the gun at him, he didn't do anything. He was almost just like, really, dad? But when he pointed it at Ethan, he was like, no, you don't. And he tackled his dad. So seeing Ethan, the
Mhm.
fact that he saved them from that, that would be his happiest ending. Victor struggles a lot with how much he has aged. Like when he met his dad, he was like so self-conscious about the fact that he wasn't a child, that time had gone by and he was an older man. And I imagine if you come out into the real world as Victor, you would feel so robbed of your life, seeing everything, the internet, like everything you were robbed of, the internet, all of the advancement and everything was taken from you. That would be so heartbreaking for him.
Mhm. It would. It'd be incredibly heartbreaking. And I think that's what would make it compelling, especially with an actor like Scott McCord who could chew a scene up like that. But no, I mean, will we get something like that? Probably not. Again, Victor probably will die. I feel like he's had such a long journey. He's been through so much, and maybe death is almost a kinder ending for Victor. Because again, I don't think it's going to be as simple as them leaving and Victor staying behind in Fromville. I don't think there's going to be a Fromville by the time they're done. There will be no Fromville by the time this is all over. This place will be destroyed, and we already saw the beginnings of it with the faraway tree being
Yes.
removed. And if you watch my video, you know my theory on it already. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be a Fromville by the time the show ends. So if Victor or Dawn or anyone has that kind of wanting to stay behind kind of feeling, they're going to be going down with the ship.
I like that. I like that metaphor. And I think Victor or Donna would be the
I
time to
think
be
they
like, you
would.
know what, you go ahead. If there's a
I think
boat
they
and
would.
nobody fits, you guys fit. We'll
Oh,
stay.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. If it was one of those, I hope they don't do that because that would be like way too close to Lost. Lost does that
Oh,
exact same
really?
thing. Yeah, we're at the end. They're getting on a helicopter and there isn't enough room. It's too heavy for all of them. So Sawyer has to heroically jump off the helicopter and stay at the island while everybody else gets rescued. Heartbreaking scene, heroic scene from Sawyer though. Love that fucking scene. But no, I could see a similar circumstance where something along those lines, where maybe Donna or Victor elects to stay behind to help everybody else get out, and they know that they're going to go down with the ship. I could see Donna or Victor doing that. Absolutely. Donna loves Colony House. She loves the community that she built in this place. We saw how much she freaked out at the prospect of leaving this, at the prospect of losing this family of hers. And then, of course, you have Victor, who, like he said, he told Jade, this is my home. It's the only home I've ever known. So I could see either one of them going down with a ship, Titanic style.
I mean, Donna basically told us that's what I'm about to do. She told us, I am living dangerously. Okay. If there's something that's dangerous that needs to get done, it'll be me. So she really is telling us, I'm just waiting for the next opportunity to put myself on the line. Like, I've
Yeah.
had it up to here. If somebody's going to go, it's going to be me. So it makes perfect sense. But I like what Lord Gravener is saying, because when you get suspended in the disbelief, okay,
You
I don't know
forget
if
the
it's,
real world goes
property.
on,
No, no,
right?
no.
Yeah.
Sometimes I remember. Sometimes I
Yeah.
remember because I remember watching how Henry was being a bad dad. He's doing all this, and Victor's like, "Why are you here? Why are you here?" And I thought, I wonder if he has like auto pay on his bank account. I wonder if like his house payment is coming out.
Him?
Is
No
the
way.
house paid off?
No
I
way.
wonder if the house is paid off. I wonder if he got fired because he just never showed up. And
No.
what about the utilities, right? What about the artwork? Is it foreclosed? Have they put everything out in the yard? I was wondering, like, I wonder what's going on with that house.
Not
Because
just
I
that
mean,
house,
this is
but all of
the
them.
real thing.
Everybody's house. The Matthews family house, the new house that Boyd was just getting ready to move into. Like what's going on with all these places? They're all just,
What are these finances like, right?
what are
I
these
need to
finances
know.
looking
Are
like?
they even going to have a place? Are they going to be
Yeah,
homeless? They're going to be out in the real world, but completely homeless?
they might be. They might be. They're going to come back to. They're going to escape this hellish landscape, only to find out that their house has been foreclosed on.
And all their
God,
stuff it's in the yard.
and all their stuff's all their stuff sold at auction at that point, gone. Yeah, that would be bad. That would be bad. But again, the real world does go on. It doesn't stop just because you got stuck in some magical, mystical fucking prison. That's your problem. Sorry, insurance doesn't cover this. Insurance does not cover a trip to Fromville. So sorry, you're eating the cost.
Mhm.
No, I mean, again, the real world goes on. The real world goes on. But yeah, again, I think we got some interesting answers coming out of season 4. Again, even more answers coming out of the whole Reddit thread that the From creators did. And between the two, I think we have some interesting areas to theorize heading into the 5th and final season. And yes, that's right. I saw Xavier also said something earlier in the chat about the about the moving company. I got to pull up the pictures. Apparently, he found something new on the moving company on that From website, something connected to Yellow Jackets, even, I guess. I'm going to have to check that out because I remember Xavier saying something earlier in the chat. I remember clocking that.
They added to the website, right? They added
That's what
pictures
I
of the
hear.
bus.
That's what I hear, yeah.
What's going on? Okay, so what are your guys' theories? We have the summary of what the story is. They have been talking about this moving company. Are they going to gaslight us too and say you guys are making a conspiracy where there's nothing, like with the LOEs? Or do you guys think that they're going to answer the rendezvous moving company? Or are
Mm,
we making conspiracy theories like they say? Are they going to gaslight us? Do you think it's ever going to mean anything? Does it mean anything?
mm. Yeah, it's a good question. Will
What
it
do you
ever
think?
have any true meaning? I never really thought it would. Not narratively anyway, just because it's always been kind of a background thing. Like it's never actually been part of the actual story. So I never really expected it to be anything more than just a little Easter egg. But I could definitely be wrong. That's for sure. I could very well be wrong. What about you? Do you think it's going to play a deeper role in the actual narrative?
No. If they threw Eloise away, listen, they'll throw that moving company away, okay? If they threw a whole girl out, a whole sister, and they're like, you guys are seeing things where they don't exist, it's conspiracy. I'm pretty sure a moving company, that's no biggie. They'll just say it was just there for advertisement. It was just there because we didn't want to use a FedEx or UPS or, a moving company. So we made our own name for copyright and you guys are seeing things. And now that they threw away Eloise, everything else is game?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, maybe it's yeah. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna have to find the run. Okay, I see it. I see some of it. Let's see. What is this? Oh no, that's not it. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find what Xavier was talking about earlier in the Discord. He said he posted the photos. I'm gonna have to. I'll find them and pull them up, and we'll definitely take a look at them on the next stream for sure. Because I cannot find them right now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I was never really expecting much to come from the rendezvous, but yeah, again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the actual key to everything. Maybe it's all been the moving company the entire time, the whole time. They'll say the movie company was just a coincidence. Maybe. And again, it's one of those things where was it just a coincidence or is it potentially another storyline that maybe they planned on doing at one point but abandoned because they didn't have enough time? There we go. Rendez move. Easy
But
moving.
you know what I mean? They keep updating this website. I do feel a little gaslighted. I feel like I'm in an
It's a
abusive
little weird.
relationship with From.
It's
I'm
a
in an
little weird.
abusive relationship. They're trying to gaslight me.
It's a bit.
It takes time to update a website, to take little pictures like this.
Mhm.
That actually looks kind of by where I live. This looks like a California country,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
wherever you're
Oh,
going.
I don't know. I think it's just good old red herring.
Well, let's see what it says. So, easy moving solutions wherever you're going, highlighted with yellow. Okay, weird. Families and businesses have trusted us to carry what matters across the street or across the country for longer than any of us can say. That's creepy. I wouldn't hire them. They're being very creepy. Request a consultation, can we? They no, they don't let you see our services. We are not currently accepting any new bookings. Read our operational notice. By appointment, we come to you. The boat and
There's
the Grand
there's the
Rapids
bus.
Runner.
The old bus.
By application only. After a single consultation, we extend one offer. We do not haggle and we are never undersold. That's like a very creepy company statement.
Hmm.
We come to you. No counter to visit. We meet you where you are and handle everything from there. The last mile is ours. No road access, no marked turnoff, no address at all. Our own vehicles carry the final leg. Son, daughter, kitch,
Mother,
and
father, kitchen, living room, the
and then this little. But look at how he's dressed. It's almost like I don't know if this is a moving company. This looks it reminds me of a virus, like
it
when you
looks
wear
more
those.
like a hazmat suit. Yeah, that's Walter White. That's Heisenberg getting his materials.
Wherever you're going, we've been there before.
Hmm. That's very similar. Wherever everyone is going, we've been there before. Very similar to the cycles repeating over and over again.
Oh, look, look. As long as the roads have run, no one is quite sure where Renda's move began. The promise has not changed. Whatever you need carried, we will see it through to the end of the line.
Mm.
Nobody knows where it began. That is creepy. I would not hire them. They have a very creepy website.
No, I'm not hiring them. Super shady. Super shady. It does. It does sound a bit like a bargain, right? Decope, like this rendezvous company is trying to make bargains with everybody else. It does. It doesn't seem like a business. It seems like a bargain. They're trying to sell us this bill of goods.
This sounds like a cult. Like a cult. You know, sometimes there's cults that will start a coffee shop or a bread shop or a company. And so from that company, they will make
Yeah.
money for the cult. That is what it's giving. Like, look at
Okay.
this. It says, this is the oldest photograph we own. Nobody knows who took it or when.
Yeah, not shady at all.
Now it's spooky.
Look at the freaking picture of the man in yellow suit.
Oh
They're
my
definitely shady.
God.
They're super
Are
shady. And the
that is
suitcase. The
his suit.
suitcase is right there.
Does this mean that it's his company?
Maybe the man in yellow owns Rendezvous. Yeah.
Does this mean that it's his company? That is
No,
his suit. That is definitely his
that's his
suitcase.
suit. That's his suitcase.
What
That's
does it
an
say there?
Ouroboros sign on the picture right there. A snake eating its own tail is Ouroboros, also
Oh,
representing the
yes.
cycles.
Two. I don't know what it says. This is his company. And you know what? His suit does look like a salesman of some sort. This is his company. He was selling moving services.
Yeah, maybe this is what the human man in yellow did in the real world before he got killed and his skin worn by the man in yellow.
Yeah, we do it the way it has always been done. Everything we do it the way it has always been done. The visit before the move, the careful packing of a home, the last walk through the empty rooms, the sealing of every manifest by hand. To us, these are not procedures; they are rituals. Oh,
Mm.
kept painfully and passed down by the people we never met. A family learns its trade by repetition. We have repeated ours for longer than we can count for, and we would not change a step of it. Creepy. They are rituals. They are
Yeah,
rituals. So this is his company. So
yeah,
before he went into From, he owned the moving company.
maybe. Looks like it. That's what I think.
Every name is still on file. We have kept the record of every consignment we ever carried. Some of the letters are older than the building. The earliest hands that wrote in them are long gone. The entries are not. They are spooky.
Okay, now that's very interesting. Every name still on file. The earliest entries that wrote them are the hands are gone, but the entries aren't. What does that remind you of?
I don't know. What does it remind me of?
Cave paintings.
The cave paintings. Yes. I like it. I mean, unresolved? Look, unresolved. So would this be a bargain? I mean,
Maybe.
when you're making a bargain, when you're contracting, that is a contract, that is a bargain, right? You and them are coming to an agreement, you're signing on the dotted line. So maybe when you book the company, I have an idea. It's totally not going to be this because they said it's just a simple story.
This is
What about if
Sophie.
all of the people hire the company, sign on the dotted line, and it's his company? So he's like, come on and, like
What
you
if
get to
signing
control.
on the dotted line, they don't realize what they're signing for or what they're signing over?
Yeah, look,
We're getting
1971.
super tinfoily here down into the rendezvous stuff, and I don't mind it.
We are, right? We said we were going
Yeah,
to be more realistic and look at us. But they put his suit there and his
the suit
suitcase
is
and they're
there, the
acting
suitcase
spooky.
is there, and not only that, that Ouroboros symbol on that paint on that paper, very indicative of the cycles.
This is as much as I can zoom in. And they blur. Do you see how they blurred some stuff
Yeah, they blurred some names.
themselves? That one, I think we could, this is the 1970s, unresolved. Oh my God, you guys, I have a theory. 1971, 72, 73,
72,
70. You know why it's
78.
unresolved? Because Victor survived.
And it's
So it wasn't
interesting
a
how
closed cycle, it was unresolved.
1978 are some of the ones that are blurred out.
Hmm. Maybe you hire this company, you don't read like the Apple terms of agreements, you just go, yes, I accept, and you
Mhm.
sell your soul along
Maybe.
with, the move.
Oh,
That's why it's unresolved.
can you right
Yes.
click on the image and open it in a new tab? We might be able to zoom in that way.
Let me see. Okay,
Okay.
so this is okay, that's as much as I could do it.
Okay.
Okay. Miranda, you guys, it says
Yep,
Miranda.
it's Miranda. That looks like Miranda. And Christopher.
Miranda and Christopher, dude. It's Miranda and Christopher unresolved. Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh and Christopher from Barbell something. Oh my God, you guys, 1972, Miranda and Christopher.
Yeah, that's what it looks like a bit. Yeah. That's what it looks like a bit.
Unresolved. That's Miranda. That's his Miranda
And it
right
would
there.
make sense that their
Kavanaugh.
cycle is unresolved because Victor's still alive. So their
All these
cycle is
other
unresolved.
ones.
All these other cycles are resolved because everyone's dead. Victor's still alive, so this cycle's unresolved. We're solving it. We're cracking the case, chat.
We're cracking the case. So this is the Menangelos company. Somebody signs on the dotted line. They're like, oh, we're going to take you. We're going to, sure we are. We're going to take you. We're going to pack you up and we're going to take you. And they take you to Frontville. And then since the cycle doesn't close, unresolved. Look at all the names before and after.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. I think they just like screwing with us.
This is a lot of work to just mess with our head, This
Yeah.
is way more than ordering a special license plate with the name Eloise.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
same company,
Since
the
it's only
same
on the
care.
But since it's only on the website and not like in the actual show, I tend to think that this is for the fans like us that love looking deeper into weird stuff and finding these kind of connections. But I think that's what it is.
Okay, Jeremy, look at this. The same company, the same care. We have moved a great many families, and some of our oldest clients still write to us, sometimes to move again, sometimes only to say they remember. We keep every letter and every consignment on file. The first entry in our books is undated. We have been carrying families for as long as there have been roads to carry them on. Sometimes they call them to say they remember. This is a cult. This is a culty moving company.
Maybe it is.
Our team. It's the Menengelo, the team. Look,
Mm-hmm.
that's him.
Oh, there's the old suit.
By application only. We do not advertise for business and we do not bid against other carriers. New clients come to us by application. We meet, we listen, and then we extend a single offer, a bargain, right? You extend the bargain, one price, one plan, take it or leave it. Like Sophia told Elgin, either you take it, Elgin, or, she killed them. We do not negotiate and we are never undersold. It is an old fashioned way to work. It is also why the same council are still here, the same faces year after year. They're telling us they're immortal, basically.
Mm.
They all dress like the men in yellow. Oh my God, this might be a government thing, you guys. This legit might be like a whole operation, or it might be like a group, a cult working on the real world that is doing this whole operation. Look at them. They all look like the men in yellow.
Mm.
The same ideology and smile year after year. The same people have sat at these desks for longer than paperwork explains. New clients sometimes say they recognize a face they never met. This is where she bought the boat. Who does that look like? Like Boyd's wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This looks like Abby. This is where she
Mm-hmm.
bought the boat for Boyd. And that looks like Christy.
Mm. Yeah, a bit.
Boats. Wait. Has never left a consignment undelivered. Ready to talk? It won't let me apply. Canned peaches. Look. Fragile canned peaches. They delivered the peaches to Victor. But didn't the boy in white give Victor the peaches? So does that mean the boy in white works for the company?
Maybe he owns it.
Oh, look, we could do a new booking. And they have no, that's a website.
They got
Hours
Boyd's
we will
box.
resume.
They got all kinds of stuff.
They have a PO box. That's not complete though, right? We need the city and state.
Yes. But they
We
have
could
Boyd's
fill this
actual
out.
box. The horse trailer that Boyd turns into the box. That was a Rendez move horse trailer.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the box is a horrendous move horse trailer. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yep.
New bookings are suspended at this time. You are welcome to leave your details. Existing clients will always receive a reply. Notice of suspension of operations to our clients. Following a number of unresolved consignments, Rendezmove has suspended all bookings until further notice. This decision was not taken lightly and it applies to every division. Existing consignments will be completed as contracted. If your goods are already in our care, they remain on file and on manifest, and they will reach their destination. We are grateful for the trust of generations, and we intend to honor every obligation still open to us. Hmm. That's because of Jade and Tabitha. They're also unresolved. So, unresolved was the name of Christopher and Miranda, and now unresolved would be Jade and Tabitha. That's why. Oh my gosh. The office sleeps. It does not close. We are not winding the company down. We are pausing between cycles until the files that remain open can be brought to rest, until he kills all of them. 1971
Mm.
to none have been closed or forgotten. Some files have stayed open a very long time. A delivery never claimed, a client we never were able to reach again, a family we are still holding goods for. We do not dispose of any unclaimed consignment, however long it waits. Okay, so that's Miranda. Okay.
Mhm. And I found something too.
What did you find?
This is from our Fromaholic member from the Fromaholic channel. And here's a little compilation. Here we go. There's the box. There's the box. It was a Rendez move box. Look at it. You see that? That is the
Yeah.
same trailer that Boyd made the box out of. So we got the
Hmm.
box. Let's see what else we got.
Planning a getaway.
The Hawaii little thing. Could that be a rendezvous move?
That's more effort than they put into the show and some of the storylines.
Look at we have the Star Magic Motel matches right there.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There might actually be a whole company behind this, you guys.
hmm Mother Tabitha, Father Jim, daughter Julie, son Ethan, son Thomas. Yeah, one for each of them.
Hmm.
The Man in Yellow stuff that we saw, the Victor Peach truck, Burros, Boyd's car. Oh, shit, hold on.
That looks like Abby.
That's Abby. That's definitely Abby.
That's Abby.
Boyd's car, Boyd's box, Boyd's boat. And yeah, there's Abby with the boat key. There's the the boat key right there.
Oh my God. Okay, do you
They're
think that
trolling
this
us
is the
hard.
Dharma project again,
No, I think they're
Jeremy?
just trolling us hard. I think it's just little Easter eggs, is all.
That takes a lot of effort, dude, to like do the
It does.
photographs. It
Lost used
takes
to
a
do stuff
whole
like
lot of
this too.
effort.
Lost, they'd create whole websites, whole rabbit holes for fans to go down. I don't know. I think it could be a nice little Easter egg hunt for us as fans. What we were just discovering earlier, Miranda and Christopher, and the years that they arrived in Fromville potentially.
Hmm.
Yeah, little
Oh, look at
boxes,
that.
and
In
yellow.
the yellow.
Yeah, little
I
man in
mean,
yellow
that's a
truck.
lot of effort, though. That's more
It
effort than they
is.
put into Elgin and Mariel building up their storyline and fleshing out their character.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I hope that they wouldn't do a Dharma Initiative ripoff thing. I have to believe that's not what this is. Again, if this stuff was in like the actual story, the actual show, then I'd maybe think a little bit more. But seeing as this is solely just on a site outside of the show, I tend to think it's just a nice little Easter egg hunt for us more attentive fans. But I could be wrong.
I'm gonna fill out the contact form. I'm gonna try to apply for a job there.
Yeah, try and apply for a job. See if the manager position's open.
Damn. Okay, but this could be his company. So let's
Maybe.
think about like a modern devil, right? If you are the devil or Satan of some sort and you live in the modern world of the internet, you still want to make bargains. You would open up a company and make your bargains that way, right?
hmm
And just like you know how they always show that they give you a big contract, the devil says sign on the dotted line and it's so long people don't read it. This is the modern devil's way of getting you to sign a contract. He did put it there, you just technically didn't read it.
And this is something that I've been wondering as well because I saw the Discord talking about this earlier. The potential of this just being fan made, AI fan made, and it didn't actually come from the production. I saw a lot of people in the Discord discussing that, and looking at these images, they are 100% AI. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's definitely AI generated. But yeah, is this legit or is this something fan made? I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I do start to think that this is just something fan made.
I wish we could get confirmation then. I'm not going to apply for a job if it's going to some random.
Yeah, don't apply. Don't apply just yet.
I was like, what is your social security number? Like, here's my
Too on the
social.
nose. Like now that I'm looking at it like in its entirety, like looking at this clip, this kind of compilation. And if you guys have not subscribed to Fromaholic, definitely give that channel a sub. Now that I'm looking at all of it in a row, yeah, it does look more AI fan generated. I don't think this is something MGM did.
No,
No, I
I
don't.
wish there could be a
On the
way to
nose.
ask them.
Too on the nose. I could be wrong though, but it is more interesting than the season finale. That's for sure. But yeah, no, I could be wrong, but seeing it now, it does read more AI fan made. It's just too on the nose with some of these things.
Look at his like hand. It
Yeah,
looks so pale.
yeah,
Yeah, it could be a huge troll. You guys are right in the chat.
yeah.
Yeah, it could be somebody that's trolling us.
Trolling the well, not even trolling. Someone that just created something and put it out there, and maybe just a lot of people saw it and ran with it, thought it was real, which
That's
is
troll.
understandable, easy. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's confusing us. They know we're crazy. You don't mess with crazy. Don't mess with
that's the
crazy.
point. That's the whole
Don't
fucking
mess
point.
with us.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is that. Again, I don't want to speak definitively, but if I had to guess, this is AI fan made. Yeah, it could be a just huge troll, not from the network, but just from a fan, maybe. It's
Oh,
on the
it's on the
official site.
official site?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is that the official site though?
On MGM, do you mean,
Like,
Quan? Is it
is
on
this on the
MGM?
MGM site or is this on the official Rendez site? I guess is the question.
On the old, he's saying that it's on the old renders where they showed that picture. That's the same.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
And Kiwi
So
saying
it
that
is
it's
official.
official, created by the producers of the TV show as an alternate reality game. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. That it's an alternate reality something rather than being fan made. That makes more sense because yeah, this just looks. Now that I'm looking at it now, it's fun, but it looks a little wonky. It's a little
Okay.
wonky.
So it's for us, but it's not for the show. It's just for us
Yeah,
to have fun. Yeah.
I guess so.
Okay. I don't know. I would have to agree with you guys in the chat. This is a lot of effort. It's almost that's why they were not paying attention
Yeah,
to what
it's
they
a
were
lot
doing
of
in the finale because they were coding for this website.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So
Promotional
it's from an
video.
alternate reality, and I don't know if that's exactly canon, but alternate reality. Again, probably just a little Easter egg hunt for the fans. Nothing. I don't think it's anything more than that. But yeah, I mean, if
Okay,
you want
then
to,
we could sign
you
up.
want to sign
Yeah,
up and
okay,
sit
I'll
there for
I'll
the
apply for a
thoughts.
job. I'll apply for a job.
Hey, I mean, well, I guess it can't hurt, right? Try and sign
Last
up,
name
see what happens.
I'm gonna put PM on Kui and
PM on.
see if I could
There
like
you
move
go.
up the applications.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if PM gets a response and is the type of employee that Rendez Move is looking for.
Yeah. Next time you'll see me with my yellow outfit here selling
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
equipment and sorts.
Hmm.
I like it. I think that if you were the
No, if
devil,
it's
right, you have to
official, it's
change
fun.
with the time.
It's a
Yeah.
fun little Easter egg hunt if it's real. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. It's fun when shows give fans extra content to just to even if it's just something simple like this. So no, yeah, I appreciate it if it's real for sure. Yeah, you got to use a reference, PM. Gotta use a
Yeah.
reference.
Fireman Julie's
Ooh,
wig.
fire mitts, fire
And should I
mitts.
send a headshot with Julie's wig on it?
Mm.
Fire mitts,
NPC Roger. You can use Patty. You can use all kinds of
Patty,
names. I'll sign up as NPC Roger. That's what I'll do. I'll use
Eloise,
it. I'll use
Eloise,
NPC Roger on mine.
Eloise Kavanagh. I like it. Let's all sign up. Let's all sign up and see what happens. One
Yeah.
of us have to be right for the job. But it does sound like a devil's bargain. This might just be the devil. The devil has to change with the times, so he has to get online. If the devil was around nowadays, that's what I would do. I would get online and create a company and try to do my deals that way, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeremy's still on his Roger kick, yeah. Okay, Jeremy, do you hate Patty more than you hated Roger now?
Oh, good question.
Who is the most hated NPC now? Is it Roger or
Yeah,
has Patty taken the lead?
I don't
Guys,
know.
what do you guys think?
I feel like people really hate Patty. People
How about you?
really do not like Patty. I think I think Patty's more annoying, but I think Roger's sins are far more egregious.
Hmm.
That's what I think.
Okay, well, who's the worst NPC? You have to choose one, Patty or Roger.
Mm, mm. I'm just gonna go with the one I would rather not be stuck in a room with, and that's Patty.
Patty. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Who
If
do you
there's
guys
one
think is
person
the
I didn't
worst?
want to be stuck with, it's freaking Patty.
Mm-hmm. Patty.
Yeah, we got some Patties. Yeah, Patty is the worst. It's wild how much they hate her. I mean, Patty is hated. Patty is very, very hated. This is very true. Poor Patty.
You
Poor
you know
Patty Mel.
what though, you guys?
Poor Patty
I
Mel.
think that I love Boyd. I love my Boyd.
Yeah.
But this has to fall back on Boyd. He is
Okay.
responsible. I don't like blaming him and putting too much pressure on him because everybody does. At least Roger was quiet.
So
That's so
Roger's
true.
quiet. Yeah.
Um, but it has to be back on Boyd. He literally what his job was strategizing during time of chaos and war, and he made
And
it
he
out.
brings
He
Patty.
didn't he didn't make it out by making the choices of taking somebody like Patty. So it
Yeah.
has to fall back on why did you even let her in the car? You should have
Mhm.
closed the door when she tried to get in the car. It's kind of his fault. She's acting
Yeah.
like any crazy lady would act that has half of her face burnt off. She
Yeah.
would totally act like that. It's his fault for taking her anyway. It's 100% his fault. I love Boyd, but he didn't used to make that sort of decision, right? Common sense is kind of going out the window.
Yeah. A bit. A bit. Yeah. Yeah. It looks like we got a lot of votes for Patty. Patty Melt. Definitely Patty Melt. I wish the monsters took Patty rather than Marielle. Clara has moved up the list for me as the worst
Oh,
NPC. I mean, Clara has definitely moved up that list for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, cover up that nasty oven burn too before you start baking for people. I mean, I'm sorry, I would not eat any of Patty's cookies. I would.
Henry was down. Henry was down to eat them.
Henry
He
was
just didn't want her to see.
Henry was down. He was super down. Patty was crushing down. Her mind broke. She's broke. Absolutely broke. It's like the writers don't like the Patty actress, the way they were writing her. Yeah, they put her through the fucking ringer. I mean, they did. Yeah, maybe there's a little animosity there. They'll throw her through all this hectic shit. Maybe. Yeah, Doritos Patty, Patty Whack. Yeah, Boyd is still to this day, Boyd is still stressed out. Even though the finale has come and gone, I bet Boyd is still to this very moment stressed the hell out just thinking about having to deal with Patty again, for sure. Boyd just didn't want to leave Patty alone. I mean, he left Randall alone. I mean,
Yeah,
Randall's
he
a
left
much
Randall
better.
behind.
He left Randall. Yeah, he left Randall behind. Randall's a much better asset than Patty. So I don't know. If I was Boyd, I would have left her ass. Yeah, send her out into the woods to find some aloe vera. Yeah, rub some aloe on that, Patty. You weirdo. I'm pretty sure he was a logistics guy, set up bases and equipments in war zones. Yeah, Boyd, yes, that's what he was. He was, I mean, he was a soldier, yes, but that was his specialty. Creating kind of stability, civilization out of these chaotic areas that are very lawless. That was pretty much his job. Setting up bases, setting up QZs, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Do you guys see Boyd wanted to do swear storm swear storm on Patty? You could tell he wanted to. I mean,
He wanted
absolutely.
to choke her. He was like, "Oh," and he like didn't really do anything, but his hands go up, and I thought, yes, he's gonna like hit her or something, but he didn't. And
Mhm.
this calls for a man protects his family slap. He's lost his touch. He hasn't hit anybody in over a season.
Yeah, that's true. This is very true. And as Doc Phil brings up, which is very true here. So in an interview, Boyd's actor said he was originally going to kill. They were originally going to have Patty off herself in that van, but decided to change it. I wish they would have went with it. I do too, and we were discussing this last on our last stream as well, and I agree with you, Doc. I think it would have been a way better scene. Not only would it have given everybody some peace and quiet, but it would have highlighted just the devastating effects that this place can really have on you. Just what kind of a price you can pay in Fromville if you're not mentally tough enough, if you let the psychological aspect get to you. So yeah, I mean, and from what we're hearing, they took it out because they thought that scene would be quote unquote too much for the fans. And I think that's a horrible excuse considering the first 5 minutes of this series. What hooked everybody in is this show savagely slaughtering a poor innocent young girl. But I mean, I don't know. They have their reasons, if nothing else, as to why they didn't do it. But I definitely don't think for a single second that the fandom wouldn't have been able to handle it. This fandom is very mature for the most part.
That would have been nothing, dude.
Oh, but
Like
nothing,
with everything. Okay, how did they show us poor Tien Chang? So
right?
after you show me Tien Chang being scalped, you're gonna tell me it's a
Oh,
little too
exactly.
much to handle Patty?
Yeah.
Like, just
This,
no. I
it,
can't believe that they even equated that. It's like, do you know how much you traumatized me with Tien Chang's little hair being pulled and then her body? We had
yeah.
to see the whole thing. That was like hardcore. They didn't even, think twice about it. They took
Yeah.
everything from Kenny. His dad also died in a really messed up way. You got to see all his insights. So I don't understand why all of a sudden it was too much. Where did that come from?
It's crazy. Like again, it's a damn horror show. What do they mean? Exactly. I don't know. Again, it's just what I read. That they thought it might have been a little too much on top of the other deaths they already had in the finale, which were very tame, kind of not very kind of gruesome deaths at all, to
Mhm.
be honest. Marielle getting kind of gutted by Smiley, and then Elgin's death was very anticlimactic. It was very uneventful. Just kind of seeing Sophia sit there and just like hold his hands as he dies, like that. I don't know.
In a very erotic way, might
It
I
wasn't
add.
good. Yeah, it wasn't good. It
Why is
was
it
not a good.
erotic? Why is she doing this thing? Like, why is it weird? Why is
Yeah,
it weird? Why are you killing him in a weird way?
and it's not like they haven't already depicted characters on the show commit suicide already. I mean, in season one, we see a character commit suicide. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they thought the fandom couldn't handle it. I mean, I think the fandom could have easily handled it and probably would have loved it. I think they would have cheered. Probably people do not like Patty. But again,
Mhm.
I get it. They have their own reasons for leaving certain scenes in and taking certain scenes out. But it's just that answer of they didn't think the fans could handle it is a little weird considering the show that we've been watching. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But we shall see. Yeah, yeah. Again, we already had we had that suicide in season one. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, somebody wanted to do it and other people convinced them. That's what he said. Like they changed
Okay,
it. So whoever, it's like the Victor thing. Whoever
maybe
wanted to do it is going to look back and say, I told you so. I told you you should have left my script the way I
you
wanted
should
it.
have left
You
it. Should
changed
have
this
left
and
it.
now it's worse. Exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to, adjust. But the burnt cookies too. I'm like, man, she's making cookies and they're also burnt. Like her face is burnt. Are they trying to just like make us dislike this lady? But
Hmm.
yeah, Clara for me, other than Roger and Patty's fine with me. Clara, I can't. I can't forgive her. She's so
Clara's
so
on the
bad.
shit list. Clara
I
is
can't.
definitely on the shit list. It's one thing to get kind of manipulated because you're, maybe psychologically a little weaker. Then to kind of just like go full on dark side and offer up information that wasn't even asked of you. No, not, now you're going the extra mile to betray these people. Yeah, no,
She's
shit list.
shady.
Clara's on the shit list. She's staying there.
She's malicious,
Um,
that girl.
yeah, malicious. But Incognito says, do you also feel the finale episode was cut from 5 to 10 minutes? For example, we didn't have the colonial woman scene. It did, again, it did kind of have a feeling, not the quite same feeling that most of the finales have. And yeah, I do wonder if there were maybe 5, 10 minutes more screen time, some of these things could have been fleshed out a little bit more. And yeah, maybe even have gotten this colonial woman that we were all very much looking forward to after the season 4 casting call went out. But yeah, like we said the other day, I think maybe there's a possibility that the colonial woman character got left on the cutting room floor. They decided they didn't want to use it, or they decided to save that character for season 5. That's a possibility as well. But yeah, I know a lot of us wanted to see the colonial woman scene, but I definitely agree that 5 or 10 more minutes would have probably very much helped the episode for sure.
I mean, anything. We're not complaining about giving us more from. Give us all the from you want. Another
Absolutely.
hour, another 2 hours. I don't know why. Maybe it's network. They have to make it a certain amount of time. But at this point, they are still MGM's big dog. Like, that is why
Yeah.
people are subscribing. So I would imagine that if they wanted the time, they would give it to them. Maybe they
Mhm.
just don't want the time. And
I don't
the
know.
reason as to why they're cutting certain things, I just wish that they would do a Q&A after the finale, because they did the Q&A before. That was
Yeah.
very strategic, but not after. It's like, no, we want to talk to you now. We love you, but we want to talk to you now. Now we have things to talk to you about and ask you.
Yeah.
It is what it
Yeah.
is, though. It's still a compelling story. If even if it's just that what they told us, I think it's
Mhm.
still a compelling story.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, when it comes down to the mystery aspects and all of that, I feel like that is going to end up how it's going to end up. For me, I'm much more interested in seeing how are these individual character narratives going to play out. That's what I want to see. These characters' journeys. Where are they going to end? How is it going to affect them ultimately? And what are they, how far are they going to have to get pushed in order to get out of here? That's some of the fun stuff that I look forward to, the more kind of human element of it. But of course, we do still need answers to the mysteries, and they got tons of mysteries that they need to answer, and not a whole lot of time to do it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think season 5 is going to be super interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it better be, right? They
Mhm.
listen. They do. We know that they do. If they're on Reddit, you know that they listen. So yeah, I have faith that they will come through. What I want to know now that you're talking about the characters, From is funny. They never intend to be funny, but I think it's hilarious.
Oh
And
yeah,
Jade and Tabitha had one of these moments where Jade says the sweetest thing to Tabitha, like, "Hey, I'm so glad it was you. If I had to do all these lifetimes, I'm glad it
and
was
she
with
says
you."
nothing
That's
back.
the cutest thing ever. And she gives him one of these, like, "Thank you. That's very nice.
Oh, she
Thank
doesn't
you."
even
It's
say.
like when you confess your love to somebody, like you confess that you're in love with them and they're like, "Oh, that's so nice, thank you." It's like the worst thing to hear. That's
Mm.
not what he wanted to hear. I was like, "Tabitha, that's the best you could do." She said literally, "Thank you for what you
No,
said, what you
she
were
doesn't
gonna
even.
do."
She doesn't even say thank you. She doesn't say anything to him
What
when
does
he
she
says
say? No,
that.
she says
She
what you
says
were
nothing.
she,
And then she stands up a second later and says, Jay, don't do this, in terms of don't stay behind. But she never says anything back to him when he says, if I could have spent all those years with someone, I'm glad it's you.
No, she
Crickets
says,
back.
"Thank you, Jeremy." She
Oh,
says
no,
she doesn't say
she
anything
doesn't.
there. But then
No,
they're over there with the bones, and she says, "We should use the bones to dig up this thing." And that's when they're looking at each other, and she says, "Hey, about what you said back there.
oh yeah, that's way later. Yeah, I
Thank
just meant
you."
like, initially, like right when he says it to her, she says nothing back to him. Like
She's
that's
like,
super fucked
uh-huh,
up.
okay." She's
Like,
like,
man.
she's like, I think of you as a friend, as a brother. I think
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
really nice.
do we have any yeah, do we have any recollections, any scenes that we can remember of Tabitha actually saying the words "I love you" to Jim? Off the top of
No,
my
she
head, I can't
said she
really.
said you were my partner or my person. You were my person,
She says you are my person, yeah. But has she
which is
ever
like
actually said "I love you" to Jim? I mean, you might
they
be onto
did
something here.
kiss. They did kiss. So she showed him she loved him. They had
She
that
showed
like
him.
little thing when they were digging, remember? And he went down there to give
Oh
her a
yeah.
massage.
Oh
They
yeah.
had that, so she
Yeah.
liked them.
Yeah. Yeah. Give him a side hug,
Uh,
pat. That's all he gets.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
but that was so cringy. It was like poor Jade.
I
She's like, "Oh,
know.
about what you said back then. Thank you. Thank you for that." It's like that is not what he wanted to hear. He's like, "I'm going to kill myself for you. You're the one that deserves to live." And all she has is like, "Yeah, thank you, Jade. I see you as a friend." That was basically it. I really just see you as a friend that I reincarnate with.
Mm. Yep. Gotta love it. Got to love it. Yeah, not awkward. Not awkward at all.
That was just I'm like, Tabitha, out of all of your husbands that are there, he's the cutest one. She has Jade, Jim is dead, and Henry.
Mhm.
Come on, that's the cutest husband you have at the moment. It's either
Yeah.
him or Henry.
Mhm. Maybe. Now, this is one thing that I saw during the Matt Likely art department video. It looks like they did go ahead and make the end of that set, the end of that hallway, how it looks like it seemingly connects to the caves. Now, we didn't see this on the show. This was not something they explored. I imagine this is maybe a set they're building for season 5. But yeah, it looks like maybe they might have accidentally given us some confirmation that this tunnel does indeed lead to the caves, which we kind of all thought it would anyway. But yeah, this was not in the show. This was not in the episodes. So yeah, I guess this might be a little hint for season 5 that they're going to be exploring this hallway, actually exploring it, not just through
Mhm.
some jade vision.
I like it, Jeremy. That is a good eye. And it's the shape of a person for somebody to go in and out. Maybe
Hmm.
that's at, Fatima lives at Colony House and that door is a Colony House. Now that she's half monster, half human, maybe that's going to be her little door. Every night she's going to go down there, lock herself in, and then every day she comes back out of there. It might be for her.
I think the Fatima thing is going to be pretty interesting to see. Just what is she gonna be? I mean, I think we all have a feeling she's not going to die in that tunnel. She's probably going to survive whatever encounter she has. But what is she going to look like? Like, is she actually going to be full on monster with no
Mhm.
humanity left, and she's just living with the monsters now? Or will she be able to retain a little bit of her humanity at least at the beginning? And will that create a ticking time clock hanging over Boyd and Ellis's head to try and find some way to reverse the condition
Yeah.
before it's too late? I don't know. I think Fatima's storyline is going to be interesting in season 5, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, maybe she'll be the protector. Maybe Fatima was the golem the whole time.
Fatima
Indeed.
was the golem all along.
We always talked about a good monster on the show, and if we would ever get to the point where we would see a good monster, a monster that actually, didn't lose all their humanity, a monster that remembers who they are. So it is interesting that they are doing kind of exactly that potentially here with Fatima, a potentially good monster that might actually be useful in season 5.
This is really interesting, Chris and Gaio. So, Jeremy, have you noticed if Tabitha
Oh,
says
to
"I
her
love you" to her
kids.
children?
I don't
Does
I
she
don't
say,
I don't ever remember her saying it to the kids either. You're right, Kristen. I don't remember. At
"Wow"?
least I don't remember off the top of my head anyway.
That's a great observation because I remember her being super cold with Ethan when
She's
they're
not
talking
affectionate.
about Jim.
Yeah. She's not affectionate.
He screams at her. He's like, "It's all your fault. What did you do?" and she screams and she's crying. She says, I didn't do anything, but doesn't say I love you and doesn't say it to Julie either. I think you might be right. I don't even think she has ever said I love you to her children. So
Huh?
what can Jade expect?
Yeah. Yeah, Tabitha's just not a very affectionate person like that, it seems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's not running around telling her kids and her husband, I love you. Very true.
Mm-mm.
And Tabitha's a
But
fool. Jade's worth billions of dollars and loves her. Take the money.
take the money, girl. Come
Take
on.
the
He's
money and
cute.
run.
He's handsome. He's a billionaire. He loves you. And he was going to kill himself for you. What else do you need, Tabitha? Please. Oh my God, girl. This is turning into the Mari show with all of
With all of her
her
husbands showing up
husbands.
in Drumville, yeah. Take the money and
Yeah.
run.
I would take it. I would be like, yes, I love you too, Jade. Let's go.
I love you too, Jade.
I uncooey everything, Jade.
Let's get out of Drumville and go buy a house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I think she says it before going down into the caves to go dig the bones. I think that might be the only time I've heard her say it. Yeah. Yes, incognito. You might be right, my friend. Oh man. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, I think I don't know. I'm excited for season 5. I am, even though season 4 wasn't exactly what I was hoping it was going to be. I'm still very excited for season 5 and where we're kind of left off at this point. Will season 4 be my favorite season? No, probably never. But I still am very much invested in the show, and I do want to see how it's ultimately going to end.
Yeah, damn, Jeremy. You're like, no, never.
Well,
Where do you
no,
rank
will never be
season
my
4
favorite season.
from the seasons that we have, from best to worst? Where's season 4?
For me, when it comes to all the seasons of from best to worst, for me, season 1 is the best, season 3 is the second best, season 2 is the third best, and season 4 is the fourth best. What about you, PM? And what about you guys in the chat as well? Now that we have seen season 4 in its entirety and we have other seasons to compare it to, what is your favorite scene to what is your favorite season to your least favorite season in order? Yeah, for me it's 1, 3, 2, and 4.
Wow. For me, I think season 4 is the best. Season 2, 3, and then 1.
Wow. Season 1 is your least favorite?
Yeah, and season 4 is the best that they've had so far.
What? Is this April Fool's Day?
If you can. It's not my fault that you don't know greatness, Jeremy. It's not my fault that greatness slaps you in the face and you can't recognize it. Season 4 was the best thing they have written thus far.
Oh my God. Well, we might have to agree to disagree on that one, my friend.
I'm just kidding. No, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I mean, I'm still gonna stand by them. You know, From is my show. I'm gonna stand by my show. But it was bad, dude. I would like to imagine, this is what I was imagining in my head, that you sit down to watch your work and they watched it and they were like, oh yeah, that was bad. That was bad. Let me do better. So I think even they could see it. It's
yeah.
I don't want to hate on it, but yeah, no.
I'll never hate on the show. Will we talk about things that we like and dislike? Absolutely. One thing you'll always get from us is the truth, exactly how we honestly feel. We're never going to sugarcoat anything, and we're never going to bash anything. It'll always be very fair, very measured, and we'll always give you an explanation as to why something didn't work for us and why we think it could be better. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That is part of being a fan of something. We're allowed to critique things we love. But yeah, for me, season 1 will always be the best. Season 3 is definitely the second best. Season 2 is the third best, and season 4 is the fourth best.
When did they kill Tian Chang? Was that season 2, Jeremy?
3.
3?
Yeah.
I think that was the best season.
Season 3 was great.
I cried.
Season 3 was my
I
second
cried and
favorite.
cried.
It was so good. Season 2 was good too. Again, the first 3 seasons are all really, really, really freaking good. Season 4 is the only noticeable season that's a little bit lower in quality. But just for me personally, I know everybody else has their different opinions on that as well. But yeah, season 1 is near perfection. Season 3 was so fun. What I like about season 3 is it's the most intense season by far. You got this nasty winter rolling in. You got the food shortage. Like, they are getting so much stuff thrown at them in season 3. It's definitely by far the most intense season, and the season that they had to endure the most, just with that cold weather and the snow alone. So yeah, I love season 3. I think season 3 is absolutely kick-ass.
Yeah, that was a good one. Golden Child says, I'm on the payroll. I'm trying to get on the payroll. I'm trying to apply for a job. Okay. I'm trying. Of course, From Town is the best name for it. And season 4 was the best. Fight me. Like, I'm going
Oh,
to try to get a job here at Rent This Move. I really
blasphemy.
am.
Blasphemy.
You know, you guys just don't get it.
Kiwi, looks like Kiwi has the same ranking as me: 1, 3, 2, and then 4. Awesome. Golden Child as well. Awesome. Same with Random Traveler. Awesome, awesome, awesome. 1, 3, 2, and 4. I love it. I love it. Ram has 2, 1, 3, and 4. Again, a really good solid score there as well. 2, 1, 3, and 4. 1, 3, 2, and 4 again. I'm telling you, 1, 3, 2, 4. I think I'm gonna have to go play that number. We should all probably go out and play that
Yeah.
lottery number. Every single one of us go out and play 1, 3, 2, 4. And if any of you win,
One.
definitely give me a cut. But no, I think we should all go out and play this lottery number. Maybe one of us will get lucky. 1, 3, 4, 2. Ooh, all right, little switcheroo there. 1, 3, 2, 4. Again, see, Ashley knows what's up. Love it. 3, 4, 1, and 2 from David. Okay, interesting. Very interesting ranking. Love it. We got another 1, 3, 2, 4, ladies and gents. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, season 1 will always be the goated. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, awesome stuff. We got another 1, 3, 2, 4 again. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, again, we've had some good seasons. We've had some pretty good seasons of From overall.
Yeah, we did. And they tried different things, At least they're being honest about it. They're like, hey, we didn't know she was dead until now. We know right here on Reddit right now she's dead. So, they're kind of finding things as they go along. They're finding out things with us. They tried some stuff. They're going to hear it. If they're on Reddit, they're going to hear about it. And hopefully
Mhm.
they just stop messing around. They were like, oh, we wanted to explore the background. It's like, dude, stop exploring the background and explore the people you put in front of us, because you didn't do that. And now we have Clara that we have to deal with. But
Yeah.
we never developed. You know what? I was really, and all fun, it is what it is. We must move on. I know, but I am kind of upset that they didn't explore the prophecy when Sophia tells Mariel, "You're a prophet." I thought, oh, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be psychological, like religious warfare. She's gonna get in her mind and make her think she's a prophet. And then she says it, she kind of starts it, and it goes nowhere. But I thought that would have been an interesting storyline. Somebody believing they're a prophet. That's pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Again, there's, and I think that was one of the critiques that a lot of fans had for the Sophia storyline. It just feels like she didn't do enough damage. Like, she did. Like, you look at the entirety of her being undercover from the beginning of the season till the end. She didn't do a whole lot of damage. She just didn't. I don't think it was nearly as devastating as a lot of us were expecting it to be. But yeah, I don't know. But this is actually true as well. 4 might not be the best, but you have to admit it's got people talking. And that's always great about polarizing seasons. You're going to have people that like it and people that hate it, but you're always going to have probably some of the most lively conversations under those circumstances. As opposed to everybody loving something or everybody hating something. The conversations are not going to be as stimulating usually. So it's always good to have a mix of people that like it, people that don't like it, and everything in between. And you get to see everybody's perspective. But yeah, one thing's for sure: season 4 is definitely being talked about a lot. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hey, that's a good ranking as well. Right from first all the way to last. I like it. I like it. But yeah, again, it really all just comes down to preference. I think we all have different, ideas in terms of what constitutes a good season or a great season or a bad season. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But it is at least comforting to know that we're not the only ones that felt a little disappointed at times with season 4.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody say that it's their favorite season. So at least we're all on the same page. That's
Mhm.
nice, you know. Misery loves company. We don't want to be the only ones that are like not super excited, but it is exciting. Like now we move forward, we could erase a lot of the theories. The only thing that's throwing me for a loop, Jeremy, is that website. It's really like now I'm confused. I'm confused. Why did
Mhm.
they go through the trouble of making that website? Maybe there is something to the company.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Could be. Again, I think it's a nice little fun Easter egg hunt for the diehard attentive fans. But could it actually spill over into the actual show and be part of the narrative at some point in season 5? Suppose anything's possible. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, this was also another sentiment that we heard from a lot of people as well. And we even, talked about it the other day and asked everybody in the chat if they didn't show so much in the trailers, if they didn't spoil a ton of things ahead of time, would the season or aspects of the season have been received a little better at times? I think maybe some of them were, like the whole not knowing that the doll thing was going to be coming. I think that would have been a really, really big moment in that episode if the fans had no idea that these giant scarecrow dolls were coming. That would have been a nice scene. That would have been a huge jump scare seeing that thing burst through the freaking wall like the demonic Kool-Aid man. So yeah, I definitely hear this sentiment a lot from tons of fans that they feel the season was, that the marketing for the season showed a little too much. And I do agree. It did. It showed way too much. Way too much. But yeah,
Mhm.
there we have it, folks. There we
I
have it.
think
Mhm.
with that was MGM. They have this shiny, this is just what it seemed like to me, okay? MGM felt that they have this shining star in front. It is their big dog. They want it out there. They feel like, oh, this is very popular. People really like it, and there's a fandom. And the fandom loves answers. There's a community built around it. They wanted to utilize that to put on all of their socials because they put stuff about their other shows.
Yeah.
So they started kind of taking from. And in order to get views on their social media, on their apps, on their websites, because that's where we were getting the information from, they were giving away major things just so that we would be invested. Um, and I don't think that that worked out for them. I think that they kind of started giving away too much because they knew we wanted it, and they don't get the game. The game is that we want answers. You don't give them to us on your Instagram or on your website.
Yeah.
We want to see it on the show.
Exactly.
So the marketing, whoever did the marketing, just was utilizing from and just kind of spoiling it for us in order to get clicks on their website. That's what it seemed like to me. Because
Mhm.
when the teeth picture got uploaded, of course, it got a ton more hits than all of their other stuff.
Yeah.
And then they kept
Naturally.
doing that. It's like,
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like From is at a point now where it's got a very established fan base, a very dedicated fan base, to the point where you don't need to kind of spoil a whole lot in trailers in order to get people excited. People are going to be excited just for the very fact that From is coming back. You don't even have to give us a trailer, and we'll still all be there, episode 1, glued to the freaking screen, maybe even more so. So yeah, I just feel like it's just not necessary. I understand how you have to promote the show, you have to market the show, but you don't have to spoil it while you're marketing it and reveal some pretty key plot points in these trailers that were pretty big. But yeah, again, sometimes the marketing can hinder a show's reception. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, we'll not see that in season 5. Seeing as season 5 is the final season, last of it, that's it, the end of the story. I am hoping that they go back to their usual method of only making trailers from the first 4 or 5 episodes, and usually never having any footage from the second half of the season in any of their promotional material. That's how they did it for the first 3 seasons, and it worked out great to the point where we all got to the second half of the season and none of us knew what was coming next because all the trailer clips had already been kind of revealed in the first half. So yeah, less is definitely more, Kiwi, 100%. When it comes to From, less is more on the marketing. We'll see. We shall see. But there we have it, folks. Now, again, we are going to continue to dive into all of this craziness throughout the off season as we dive super deep into season 4, the finale, the answers, the reveals, and of course, our predictions for where season 5 is ultimately going to go. And if you guys have not seen it already, I just uploaded a video right before the stream of season 4 finale answers and unanswered questions explained. Along with some pretty interesting theories that I have as to where some of these storylines are going to go in season 5 and what the true cause or what the true outcome of that red lightning being released is really going to do to the town of Fromville. I don't know. I think we're going to have a pretty interesting season on our hands. They got a lot of stuff to get through. Again, the pacing's probably going to be much, much faster. And I'm here for it. I am here for it, ladies and gents. We will see exactly how this story is going to end together. But until then, we will be right here theorizing on all of the craziness, reliving all of the nuttiness, and seeing what other stuff we can find heading into the next season. And I think the rewatch, when we get to the point where we're going to do a full season 4 rewatch, which we will, I think that's going to be fun, going back right from the beginning and watching all of these episodes all over again with a different perspective, knowing that we already know where it's going, and maybe we'll see some things that we didn't see the first go around.
That's my favorite part when we do the
rewatch.
Discord rewatches and
So
then we
fun.
talk about them.
So
That's
fun.
my favorite part. And I
Yeah,
think I could stomach watching Sophia being sneaky if I'm in a group setting. If I'm not,
Yeah,
I'm fast forwarding through the sneaky part. It's like, I get it, girl. You're sneaking around. I don't need hours and hours of you just like smirking, looking around.
yeah,
But if
yeah.
I'm in a group, yeah, that'll be
If
fun.
we're in the
When
group
are we going to
setting,
start, Jeremy?
we can start next week if you want. We can start it next week. And yeah, we'll watch like 2 episodes a week, and we'll get through it and rewatch the entirety of season 4 and discuss it afterwards in the Discord. Yeah, those Discord discussions and watch parties are always fun. We don't always have to start on here at all. So yeah, we'll do that. We will do that. I'm not going to share Theorycraft. The show is dead to me until next summer.
Hey,
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, and you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. There are plenty of fans that were very disappointed with season 4, and you have every right to be. Every right to be. Nothing wrong with that at all, my friend. But one thing I will say, is I hope when season 5 does come around, you are back here hanging out with us and giving us all of your thoughts and your theories, Kaiser Bull, because I am looking forward to seeing what you have to say for season 5, my friend. But this has been so fun. I've loved covering season 4. Again, even if it hasn't been the season I expected it to be, it was still so much fun discussing it with everybody. And yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into the rewatch, and we will see exactly what we can pick up on that we maybe missed the first go around. And I do see a few of you asking about Silo, any Silo information. Yes, Silo season 3, episode 1 is officially out. I'm actually going to go watch it after the stream, and I will probably have my breakdown up on the channel. I'm going to try and get my breakdown up on the channel tomorrow. But if you guys have not caught up on Silo, now is the time. It's such a fun show. It's got a really good mystery aspect to it. I'm loving it. I think it's just got really good characters, a rich world, rich setting. And it's probably going to be one of the best shows on over the next few weeks now that From is over. So I would definitely suggest getting out there, check out Silo, guys. It starts off a little bit slow in the beginning, but I promise you it's worth it to stick with it because it gets really, really good. But yeah, Silo season 3, episode 1 is out now. I'm going to try and watch it as soon as I can and get my breakdown out. And of course, we have House of the Dragon episode 3 this weekend coming out as well. Very much looking forward to it. I thought episode 2 was a huge step up from episode 1. And it'll be interesting to see where the next phase of the Dance of the Dragons is going to take us. So we got some fun things coming down the pipeline. We got some more From, some House of the Dragon, some Silo, and everything else in between. But yeah, good stuff, ladies and gents.
This is how I feel.
Yeah,
That
not
he's
mad,
not
just
mad.
disappointed.
He's just disappointed. I'm not
Yeah.
mad at them, and I
That's
never
it.
will. I'm just a little disappointed.
Yeah,
But you know what? I think everybody needs a little bit of time to get out the
yeah,
frustration of what has happened with the season. Jeremy and I, we went in, it was like 5 hours of discussion. And now, once you get over that, you do say, I'm going to take a break. But guess what? You just need a little bit of time and you'll be right here. You'll be right back with us because you will miss it. And it's because at the end of the day, we love the story and we want to see how it ends. But it's really funny because you're seeing how people are processing what
yeah.
just happened.
We
And
all
that's
got to
really fun
process
to
it.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really fun to watch people kind of like process that was the season. And then
Mm.
that's it. We have to wait. We're all in the same boat. So at least we're together in it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We're all in this boat heading towards oblivion together, and we will see what awaits us when we get there. But yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting. The poll has been up for a few days now, and we've already gotten over 12,000 votes on this poll. Probably one of the biggest polls we've ever done on the channel. And it's pretty interesting kind of responses as we're seeing. 24% thought it was a great season, 11 thought it was a bad, and the overwhelming majority thought it was okay but not great. And that's kind of where I'm at as well. I don't think it was a great season, but I don't think it was a bad season either. I think it was an okay but not great season. That's kind of where I'm at as well. But yeah, one thing is for sure, though, the discussion around season 4 has been some of the best discussions that we've had in the entirety of the show's history. So yeah, I am super proud of what we did for season 4. So thankful for each and every one of you hanging out with us, coming on this crazy journey with us. And hopefully you guys will come and join us for the rewatch parties that start next week as well.
Yeah, those are the best. The community. Yeah, love the community. At the end of the day, it's about the community.
Yeah,
You guys are what makes it fun.
yeah.
I always think it's funny because people will sometimes say, how is it that you have 4-hour discussions of a 30-minute episode or 45-minute
Easy,
episode?
easy.
It flies by. It really flies by. So I don't care what they give us. I think, take a little bit of time if you need a little bit of time away from it and then come back because it's about the community at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. It's about the community. It's about the journey that we're all going on together, trying to solve this craziness as a group. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, big thank you to each and every one of you for joining us on this fine, fine evening, ladies and gents. I will be back this weekend for some more From and some more House of the Dragon content. And of course, again, Silo Season 3 has just premiered. Get out there, check out Silo if you can. I think it's a really fun show, and it's probably going to be one of the better shows that at least that's on right now that, again, From is over. And we will be talking about Silo here on the channel as well. And of course, there's a few very interesting films that are coming out pretty soon that I definitely have my eye on that we will be discussing in depth. In particular, the upcoming new Robert Eggers film, Werewolf. I am a huge Robert Eggers fan. He's my favorite new director that has come onto the scene in the last 10 years. I love his style. I love his aesthetic. There's very few Robert Eggers films that I didn't just absolutely enjoy from start to finish. So I cannot wait to see what he's going to do with the werewolf. I cannot wait to see how it's going to look. The trailer looked absolutely freaking badass. And I am very much looking forward to that. And I will be doing heavy breakdowns on that film when it comes out. Absolutely. I mean, it looks good, right? It looks freaking good, man. It looks so good. I cannot wait to see that. I love Robert Eggers. I just think he's such a talented storyteller and just one of the best new directors that we've seen, emerge in the last 10, 15 years. The guy's just so fucking good. So good, right? Yeah, Werewolf's going to be good. It is going to be good. And of course, it is starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, who we just saw in the 28 Years Later reboot. So I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to that film, and I will definitely be doing some breakdowns on it. But that's going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a big thank you to each and every one of you again for hanging out with us on this fine Thursday evening. Stay safe out there, ladies and gents. Please keep those tinfoil hats on, folks. Don't be afraid to dive into these rabbit holes, and we will see each and every one of you on the next one. Cheers, y'all. Cheers.
Okay, ding dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.
Aren't Cooey.